Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're back, man. Episode 226.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get right into it. Mega Millions ticket matching 5 numbers sold in Bakersfield. Somebody's going to get robbed tonight. Robbed tonight. Robbed tonight. All right. Bakersfield, California. 1 ticket matching 5 numbers for Friday's Mega Millions drawing was sold in Bakersfield, according to the California Lottery. The numbers for Friday's 480 million Mega Millions jackpot drawing were 8, 20, 26, 53, 64, and Mega number 15. No tickets matching all 6 were sold according to the Mega Millions website, but one with 5 numbers was sold at Albertsons at 2691 Mount Vernon. Lottery officials said 1 ticket matching 5 numbers for the July 15 Mega Millions drawing was sold at Albertsons at 2691 Mount Vernon. The prize listed at $973,000, 606. Wow, almost $1 million. According to the website, they're gonna tax you for that shit too. The next Mega Millions drawing is scheduled for Tuesday, July 19th, with an estimated jackpot of $530 million.
What? That sucks. You miss one number,
Yeah,
and you drop you down to less than $1 million.
I know, it's fucked up, right? They get so much money off the people. They are literally robbing people blind.
Yeah,
$530 million though, like, dog, honestly, if you make $530 million, you really shouldn't be doing anything around people for a while. Yeah, you shouldn't. And you shouldn't be flossing on the internet, nothing. Just like, I would like literally disappear. I would probably be too afraid to tell anybody that I had that much fucking money.
you're gonna be in the news.
No, you don't. You could be anonymous.
You can.
Yeah, we could be anonymous or wear a mask. The last winner, he had a fucking mask on. Did you see that?
No, I didn't know that.
One of the winners had a mask on. They were doing a little interview, and he was like, "Yeah, I plan to take care of my family and do this and do that, blah blah blah."
You can't even do that though.
What do you mean?
We got thousands of people listening to our voice every week. Like, that's not gonna work for me or you.
Fuck him.
That's Eddie. I know that nigga voice. I'm Eddie McGee.
You know what? If I had the money, I wouldn't have a choice but to mention it on the podcast. I would say, you know what? I'm a millionaire, and we have a studio. It's in a hidden location. You will not be finding me and Keith.
I wouldn't say I won the lotto. Like, I would probably
I came across a lot of money.
explain my millions. I would act like my app went crazy or something.
Yeah, you would have to.
Yeah,
But
or my YouTube channel is going
even
crazy.
then, that amounts to something to people.
Yeah.
Now you've got more social cachet. You've got
Yeah.
more, hey, oh man, Eddie's doing it big, or he's doing this, or Eddie must have bought 10 trucks or something. Like, it's going to always be a story there.
Yeah.
And the fact that most people work jobs, they're going to be like, yo, this dude, Eddie. Or they'll be like, fuck Eddie, you know?
Yeah.
Who is Eddie to win that money, you know?
I used to give him a right to work.
Yeah, back so many fucking years ago, like
Yeah.
12 years ago. Eddie didn't have no car back in the day, and I gave him a ride. I'd be like, well, I got $700 million now. So fuck off.
That's so much money, man. And
Yeah.
when you hear it, it always seems so regular, right? Like 15, 64, 33. Like, I could have guessed that.
Oh, 100%. You know what I thought about, though, is I've always thought, you know, I don't say I have the foresight for it, but I kind of do. Like, if I got that type of money, what would I do with it, right? I think I would put the money in the hands of the people, because I know people are struggling. I would get like $500 gift cards to Food Max, and I would give it out to like hundreds of people. Like, people who really need it. Like, people who are hungry around the holidays. Get kids gifts and shit like that. Like, really give back to Bakersfield. You know, I would try to find a way to get with the park and recreations people and get real swimming pools in like the east side of town, because there's a lot of places like they just got water parks. Kids can't experience actually being in pools anymore.
It's a reason, though. I don't know if you could push back on that.
What do you mean?
Like, I think they took the pools out for a reason.
Well, the reason was the cost, the upkeep of these pools that had been there.
That's what I'm saying. It might have kind of came down to cost.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, that's a whole entirely different conversation than like the money thing. Like, you're gonna have to push back on like I don't know, sanitation laws and all some
Probably,
other stuff.
but here's the thing: if there was any money or pushback on that, I'm just trying to figure out. We just talked about them building a fucking $500,000 bathroom in the park.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that it costs too much to upkeep that pool, and you motherfuckers got that literally looks like a what's the coffee shop? The new coffee shop that we got here.
Dutch Brothers.
It looks like a an old school Dutch Brothers drive-in fucking size bathroom. That's what it looks like.
Doo-Doo Brothers.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that, man. It's just empty calories. But anyways, yeah. Whoever won the money, God bless you. I hope you don't blow it all in one place. They're gonna tax the fuck out of you. Uncle Sam's gonna hit you doggy style before you catch any of that fucking money.
Yeah. The crazy part is it is a small probability that we know this person.
Probably. They'll be like, man, Eddie, I just got a lot of money, man, a couple $100,000. I'm like, all right, well, I don't need your money, but I would give some friendly advice. I'd be like, don't tell anybody about this shit. When people make money or they get a really good job, they want to tell people how much they make, where they live, what they bought. Listen to me when I tell you this. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's not helping anybody. There are a lot of people that are struggling right now, and I'm not saying you shouldn't feel blessed. But sometimes you need to keep your blessings to yourself and your family. Yeah, I see people flashing money like, yeah, you know, hard work, man. I just work hard, and they got hundreds all wadded up. It's like, dude, you're not doing anything. You're not offering any value to anyone's life by posting you flashing money on social media. That's just fucking corny.
Yeah, that's tough. I would if I were that person, like I wouldn't say if I were that person, but if I came across that kind of money, it would be a few people here in town that I would reach out to.
100%.
Like that understand what it looks like to have money, but also, you know, it might be some family members hitting you up like, hey, you know, I need this or my bill, I'm late on rent. You know, so
I don't want anybody hitting me up.
Just having to navigate. I would just be curious. Like a guy like Kevin Edwards, I would be curious to know how he navigates like being he's a popular person, but like on a personal level, like people know him. And I'm sure, you know, people, you know, be having their hands out, or a guy like Tyron, you know what I mean?
Jay-Z just talked about this. I didn't finish the interview with Kevin Hart, but he basically spoke about, you know, when he wants to just go to family events, you know, and just wants to be around family and nothing else. And I have like a cousin or somebody like, hey man, I got this idea that could make you like $1 million, $2-3 million.
Jay-Z still going through that?
Yeah, he talked about it on Kevin Hart. And he
it.
said these are people who are stuck in the mind state of like a 16-year-old. They never evolved. So they think that that's how business works, and it doesn't work like that. There's somebody literally, here's the thing. Some people will apply this very antiquated idea of what making money or trying to put a business out there. There's somebody in front of Walmart trying to sell a mixtape right now.
Yeah.
That's not how, that's over 10 years ago that shit worked.
But you have streaming services now.
Yeah, there's streaming services now, man. You'll be like, hey, if you're out there, first of all, you shouldn't be out in the world trying to promote your music.
You gotta promote it on the internet.
Yeah, nobody's really gonna respect that shit, man. There's some song I found today. I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I think it was an ad or something. And the song is dope. It's called Cream Soda. That shit is dope. I forgot the name of the artist, but I looked at his ad, and he had like almost 400,000 engagements or people who had seen it. And I was like, who is this guy? But then I clicked on his profile. He didn't even hardly have that many followers. So I was like, let me click on the actual song. And the song was fire, bro. The song was fire.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to. I mean, it's the power of the internet, man.
Yeah, but that's how you got to promote it, dude.
I still like somebody.
Shit, the fuck was that?
Somebody the other day had commented on my YouTube channel like, yo, I'm adding this to my playlist. This is dope. It's just like that's just how the internet works. It don't work, you know. Like you said, like in terms of Jay-Z, he like, man, he's a huge philanthropist.
Right.
So I would imagine if that person, his cousin, nephew, whatever, they came with a different type of presentation, you know, a business plan or some numbers to back it up. Like, hey, Unc, you know, I've been doing this on my own. I got my, you know, I'm selling cookies. I'm selling whatever the case may be. I'm selling electronics. This is what it's doing already. You know, if I had some seed money, I could buy more inventory, whatever the case may be. I'm sure. I think
that if you have a real business plan, I think it's all about your presentation.
Yeah.
Like even when you talk to people, you got to understand, they got 1 million people trying to pitch them shit all the time. They got 1 million people trying to take pictures with them all the time. They are in high demand, and it's draining for them. If you lead that conversation off as like, hey, man, I know you got people pitching shit to you all the day, so I'm not. No, I would say, look, I know you got people pitching shit to you all the time, but I'm not going to hold you. I just wanted to let you know that I have this. I've worked on this long. I've got an LLC. I've been working on this for 6 years. Yeah. I know that you work on this. I feel like I could offer you value in this way. Mm-hmm. This is what I've been doing. Here's my spreadsheet. Here's this. Here's that. Here's my business card. And if there's any type of recommendations or some form of a small donation you would have for me to get my business off, I would totally recoup that, and you would get your money for sure. But I just wanted to put that out in the air. I think that if you're a person that's serious about it, people are going to have a follow-up question. Mm-hmm. But the question is be like, man, how long you been doing this, man? Mm-hmm. I've been doing this 6 years. How old are you? Oh, I'm 19. You 19? Mm-hmm. And you been doing this? Mm-hmm. They'd be like, all right, man. Hey, get with this is my business manager. Here's this and that. Like, it'll be a real conversation. Mm-hmm. Versus like, hey, man, look, I'm a rapper trying to come up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, your presentation's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, it's like, doesn't Jay-Z turned down J. Cole.
Yeah.
He's a better rapper than you.
Yeah.
So you just got, But I think outside of this conversation about like business, like presentation is everything, bro. Like, just in terms of like, there's this Zoom meeting thing that I'm doing, and we're presenting. It's like a 5-minute presentation. It might be like a 2-minute presentation or something like that. But they were basically say like, come business casual. And mind you, we're on Zoom. You know what I mean? But part of that is that presentation. Like, you want to look like something.
100%.
You know what I mean?
I think you can have a lot of knowledge, and I hate to judge anybody for what they're wearing or not wearing. But it's like, you could be overly qualified for a job, but if you walk in with your pants hanging below your ass, and you got a shirt that's kind of dingy, you know, and you don't have any, like, you got some boots on or something. Yeah. I mean, you kind of disqualify yourself. Yeah. You know, just because if you took that role more serious, you would come as what you would come prepared. You would look like the value, you know?
Yeah. But you just want to be put together.
100%. But I don't want to jump all over the place. In regards to this lotto shit, man, I've played the little basic scratchers and haven't won very much on that. I probably won the most I've ever won at once is probably over $80. Mm-hmm. Which is pretty good.
Some people be hitting though. I know a couple people done hit.
There are people that hit and they lose their fucking money. Yeah. Like, it's just like when you don't have any form of financial literacy and you win the lotto, you better off not winning it. Yeah. Because this is what you're going to do. If you're a person that say you live in the hood, right? You've been broke your whole life. You got a bunch of family and they broke too. Mm-hmm. They automatically assume that you need to save them. Mm-hmm. Automatically. They're like, oh, I always wanted a pony. I always wanted what the fuck do you need a pony for? You live in the hood.
It's crazy. At least to my knowledge, there's never been like they had the movie Lottery Ticket with Bow Wow, but never been like a movie where like it shows like the real experience of somebody winning
I think they
lottery.
have. It's like a documentary.
A documentary?
Yeah, of people that die after they win that fucking
No,
movie.
I just meant like some narratives, like some made up stuff. Like I just never seen, because there's movies about everything from basketball players to freaking, I don't know, whatever, scientists. But I never seen anything like what the lottery winner.
Let's check Keith's financial literacy or his mind state when he wins. If you got $200 million, what is the first like 1 to 5 things you'd be getting?
I think I would take care of like things that have interest first. So like today, I would pay up probably my credit card and then my house. And then I think the probably like number 2 thing, I would probably buy my mom a crib. Mm-hmm. I'll probably retire my mom, and then set aside a self-sustaining like investment thing for her, where like maybe put $1 million in stocks and then let her live off of it's not the interest, but the amount earned, you know. And then from there, some more like investment stuff like stocks, there's a formula. I think Schultz was talking about it on Brilliant Idiots, but he was saying like if you have X amount of dollars, you can have some formula he had for like so many $1,000 based on however many millions you have investment. So I would do something like that, and then I would probably live like super frugal, in a way where like I would probably stay in the same spot, but and then like the world is my oyster after that. Like after I take care of like the grown up stuff, then it comes to like, okay, making a movie. Okay, like really building a team around my app. Cause right now it's just me putting a few $100, few $1,000 here and there, but probably renting out a space like this and having like 3 or 4 coders in there just working, marketing team and stuff like that. And then like podcasts, like crew. Production team,
100%.
You know what I mean? Having 3 cameras or 4 cameras set up and somebody over here manning the, the sound and everything like that. So
yeah. I don't know how many things that was, Keith. I don't know if it was.
It was a lot, but it was my head was strange. But I guess to kind of bring it all back, like that would be just a fraction of it. So I wouldn't even know what to do with all that because my mind is not even on the materialistic, 100%. Aspects of it. I'm not worried about it.
Well, for me, one of the first things I do, believe it or not, if probably 1 through 5 things. 1, get a lawyer.
Yeah, for sure.
2, get a chef.
Yeah.
3, I'd get a fucking huge, beautiful home. Get a nice estate. 4, I would invest in rental properties. And not just any. I would more or less want to get something kind of plush. If you got that much money, you could probably get, I guess you could call it luxury homes or luxury apartments.
Yeah, you could like it's downtown Bakersfield. It's a couple, they're building some out there off of Coffee, I think.
100%.
Yeah, building a huge apartment complex, and those be making like so much money, bro.
That and then also another one would be investing in podcast studios. Yeah. So, for example, we've seen WTF Media and what they've done. They've got one in New York and one in Los Angeles. I think that there's from Central California all the way down to like Sacramento and all that. I think that there's a need for podcasting studios, but not just any podcasting studio. State of the art fucking cameras, acoustic paneling, ambiance, all of that shit, right? So if you go into this studio and you record here, you know that we're going to edit your shit at the fucking top tier level.
Yeah.
We're going to provide, we're going to employ people that have history or degrees in manning cameras and getting certain things. So we're going to get a good rate.
Yeah.
I
think one thing that I would do, which is kind of, it might sound a little weird, but like I would call it like pay for play, in a sense of like, how they say if it was like 50,000 or the lunch with Jay-Z or something like that. But just like consultation meetings with like people that's like the movers and shakers. Like say a guy like, I don't know, Timbaland is like for $1,000, like you could spend 2 hours with me in the studio or something like that. You know what I mean? Or whatever business guy out there, like, if they have some sort of consultations, I think that would be somewhere you could like, you could like build real friendships with people. Cause if you just a solid person, and the person that you're paying to see is solid too, like you gonna have a relationship outside of, just that money that you pay. That's just your entry into the door.
You're gonna actually benefit from these relationships.
Yeah, and if you come in with something to offer, like, hey, I got a podcast that's doing this. I got this business venture that's doing this. I got some real estate moves that I'm working on. Then they're gonna be way more interested in the conversation versus you going in there with nothing to say.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we have to be careful too, just in general, when we think about money and our relationships with money, when we're like, oh man, if I had $1 million right now, I would do this, I would do this. You really don't know what the fuck you would do. But I think whenever you start developing some form of better financial habits and financial do you call it, literacy.
Yeah.
By the time you get that money, even if you don't know exactly what to do, you still have more of a grasp on that. At least you're gonna say, hey, look, I'm not gonna spend anything, but you know what? I have always wanted that truck right there. I could spend $68,000 on that, or I could spend $93,000 on that, and it's not gonna hurt me because this is a purchase that I've wanted. It's not gonna take even 2% of what I've got. So let me go ahead and buy this truck that I've always wanted, and then I'm not spending no money on anything else.
Or, I mean, one of the things Kevin Edwards would always say in his videos is like, yo, this rental property pays for this car.
100%.
This thing pays for this. My YouTube pays for, this is my play money right here.
It's like a self-sustaining
exactly.
lifestyle.
Yeah. So, that's
100%.
That's a
shout out to Kevin Edwards, man. I mean, catching some of his content and some of the shit he's doing. This guy's a YouTuber out of Bakersfield. He's been doing this shit for 16 years, and it was a slow grind. He showed his tax returns, or his tax statement in 2015 was $28,000.
Dang, that's not.
And then the next year, he didn't say how much he made the next year, but he got a Lamborghini the next year, a Huracan. But he leveraged that Huracan into more views and more. Basically, he leveraged that into getting him more eyes on his YouTube. And
sorry to cut you off, but DJ just hit me. And he was saying he got the, like, I guess Instagram has like a paying tier for like Instagram Reels or something like that. So he just got a thing, and it was saying like how much money he would make per month if he had signed up for whatever content creating thing. So I was like, dang, that's low key fire, because it was just 3 digits. I'm not gonna say specifically what it was, but I'm like, yo, if you really, like, if you got that now, it's kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But like, if you really put your foot, on their necks and really started posting every day, a couple times a day, like that number could turn into a few $1,000s.
What you need to understand is that, let's say you were getting $300-$400 a month just from posting reels or something on YouTube. You have to ask yourself, how many people do you know that make money doing exactly what they want to do with their life? Hardly no people. So you're making $300-$400. You've already won
what you want to do.
You've won in a very small sample size. If you have the foresight to say, hey, let me stick with this shit. And then fucking 8 years goes by, because that's what you got to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Me and Keith have released a podcast every week for over 4 years. And have we reached this success that we want to be at? No, but this is what it takes, man. You got 2 Chainz didn't blow up till he was 36. He was 36 before he turned into the 2 Chainz we all know.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah, I mean, Blast is 30.
Yeah, Blast is 30 years old.
Yeah, it took him this long. He's been making music for a long time.
Yeah, but that's what you got to be willing to die behind this shit, man.
Yeah.
You got to be like, yo, I'm not going to stop doing this. It doesn't matter what happens in my life. I'm not just going to give up. And like, I've made it to the point now in my life, and it's scary because I can't even picture my life without doing content weekly. I just can't even picture my life doing that. Yeah. Like me just being a guy, just going to work. I'd probably be so unfulfilled, man.
Yeah. Part of being content in life is like fulfilling your purpose.
100%.
So I think this is a different subject matter, but for any listener that's just like, they just feel like they're not happy with their life, or they just feel like they just don't enjoy getting up. I would suggest you look at what you really want in life and how you can go about doing that. Right. Because a lot of times, like, people are so miserable because they're doing things on a daily basis. It's not fulfilling for them, and they're not living out their purpose. Somebody that's I don't know, let's say they work at Dutch Brothers or something like that, but they really probably want to be like a journalist or something.
There you go.
They really like talking about sports, and they kind of just stuck in this grind. But there's a way to do both. You obviously got to make money, but you could put your phone up and just be like, hey, Kevin Durant requested a trade today. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just and you will realize like how much happier you'll be.
100%. I told one of the homegirls from back in the day, she posted a video, and it was like just a little colorful video. Like, did you know that Fiji bottles, this is actually recovered in this region of Fiji, and it's actually bottled here at this place? And like, just her little energy and a little spark that she had. I inboxed her. I said, hey, you need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And she's like, doing what? And I was like, you need to keep doing these videos.
Yeah.
Go create a TikTok account and post these videos. Find out little facts about different regions and different parts of the country and out of the country, and post these facts that some people may not know.
Yeah.
And you may think, she was like, oh, I don't know if I have it. Like, I wouldn't be able to be like you and do it. I was like, stop speaking those limitations on yourself. Just get out there and give it a shot.
Yeah.
You know, because some people just have really good energy. They have a really good energy about them. You know, and they create there are people that were lawyers that quit their fucking job to create content. Mm-hmm. Like, do you understand what that means? A person that went to school and went through the bar and did all this shit and just ended up being on YouTube.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's some people are, and there's some people that like whatever profession. Like, say me, I went to school, I went to film school, right? There's a version of my career path where I could not even make movies and I could just talk about movies.
Yes.
And I could make, thousands of dollars every month on YouTube. That
existed many years ago with Siskel and Ebert. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with Siskel and Ebert?
They did reviews.
Yeah. And sometimes the reviews were a little bit tone deaf because they were two older, like, white dudes.
Yeah.
So they would talk about, like, Boys in the Hood. They'd be like, I didn't understand, why they had to be so violent.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's called Boys in the Hood, motherfucker.
I want to do that's like something that I was talking to my buddy the other day. I was like, that's kind of like, because for any of you that follow me on Instagram, like I started doing like little stories and stuff like that. And I kind of fell off because partly because I got COVID and then, just kind of lost the rhythm of it. But in terms of just like talking about film, that's something that I want to get in. And just talking about stuff that I'm doing, whether it could be podcasting, like, hey, how do you put together like a dope podcast or whatever the case may be. And what you'll realize is like there are people like my friend Pat he does music videos or Blue. And he learned from certain YouTubers that he ended up being more successful than. You know what I mean? So there's not really a correlation. There's some people that are like, they're just meant to be like teachers. They're meant to be YouTubers.
That's a fact.
I think for me, like objectively, I think I'm more talented than some of the professors that I had, but they have they hold a special place because they're really good at teaching.
100%. It's just like the guy there. Okay. A lot of NBA players go to trainers that are less talented than them.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of them, whether it's the Chris Brinkley or those guys, Chris Brickley, I think his name is.
Chris Brickley,
yeah. They go to guys like that because those guys have great fundamentals. They may have not been NBA talent, but they know how to hone those skills. What's your boy's name? Is it Tim?
Yeah, Tim.
Tim, he's doing his thing, man. I see he's training those kids, and he's doing his thing. Shout out to Tim, man.
There's a guy. There's like 3 or 4 like books when in terms of like screenwriting that you get going to school or like that people kind of talk about. One is called Save the Cat. It's written by this guy named Blake Snyder, and Blake Snyder wrote the film Blank Check.
I heard of that.
You never seen it with the little white kid and he got a blank check? And
he said who wrote it?
His name is Blake Snyder.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of Dan Snyder.
No. Yeah. But, this is the movie with the kid and, he got all the money. He's living his lavish life or whatever.
Movie?
Yeah, exactly. But that was kind of the peak of his career, right? And the movie is not that great.
No.
It's like it's just a fun 90s movie that is not like, it's not that great by any means.
Watered down Macaulay Culkin Jr. ass movie.
Facts. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's heralded as like, that's the book that you get when you walk into film school and you want to learn how to write a screenplay.
Really?
That's like the standard. That's your jumping point. Like, here, read this book and you'll learn how to write a screenplay. But in terms of like how great he was as personally writing, like it's just not that, he wasn't that great. But in terms of teaching or writing a book on how to write a screenplay, like he's the guy. So, it's just something to think about.
I dig it. Me and Keith have been going on a tangent here for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I'll summarize that by saying this. We were talking about the Mega Millions, and then we just just literally branched off into something else. I hope and pray that anybody out there that comes across a lot of money, whether it's you owning property, rental properties, or making some good business decision, or you just scratch off a scratcher one day and you get $2-3 million. I pray that you never have to work for someone again. I hope that you figure out your situation and how blessed you are, and don't let people, what do you call it? Don't get survivor's guilt. Yeah. If you get survivor's guilt, you're gonna give away all your fucking money to your aunts, your cousin, your brother, your sister, and by the time you're done, you realize you only got $193,000, and you had $2 million.
You know, I think you were saying this a while back. Like sometimes you just have visions of like just coming across a lot of money.
Yeah, I do. I have it quite frequently.
Yeah.
And I think as I've gotten older, it's been more of a thing. Like I swear to God, I'm not playing. I have this feeling like I'm going to be able to bless a lot of people, help people, have a lot of money, have an abundance of things.
Yeah.
Do I know how I'm going to get all that? I don't have the plan. And I think that most people that become part of the 1%, they didn't have a set plan on how they got there.
Yeah.
I think that what happens is they have like, I guess, the foresight for it, but they don't know exactly how they're going to get there.
Yeah.
They either got it through their talent, whether they're a producer or a musician or a low-level business person that started off doing something in, I don't know, stocks and trades or whatever the case, and then it just fucking took off.
Yeah. I think about that, like, even like only more recently have I got really confident in like my writing ability. Right. And there's this contest, and I have a really good feeling about it. And it's a contest where you win money, and they give you enough money to make like a sample of your movie or whatever.
It's confidence coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I think it comes. I wouldn't say that necessarily that it comes out of nowhere. For me, it comes from putting in the work.
100%.
When you studying, you reading scripts, you doing all these different things, and you're like, oh, I sometimes you reach like a certain level of like you kind of have like a breakthrough in clarity, right? I could imagine like, you know, even with the podcast, we just recording in your apartment, right? And we just kind of like putting it together, and then we all of a sudden just start clicking, like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like.
100%.
So in terms of like, coming across some money, like I have a strong feeling that I'm gonna write a screenplay that gets optioned, and they just gonna cash me out, and then
it's almost like you push yourself into a corner too. Like you've done so much work that you build up this confidence. It's almost like it's like training. It's like training. Why is my sound still on? See this? I gotta get rid of this fucking phone. I gotta get rid of this phone.
That might going crazy.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Anyways, it's almost like training for boxing.
Yeah.
Right? You're training for boxing, you're learning how to throw jabs and hooks and all that stuff. And you're doing it just to get in shape. But the amount of confidence you have when you're walking around and just the everyday person starts talking shit to you, you're just like, I don't want to fight this person, but I could knock him out in 10 different ways. And your heart rate is so low. Because he's like, bro, all I got to do is hit him with a jab. He's going down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But there's that. Switching gears. A fixed image. Before I go into this conversation, I'll have to give you an example. Recently, it was brought to my attention that someone that I've known over the years, but I haven't had any interaction or spoken to this person in like over 8 years. Keith and a few people had ran into this person, and this person had some choice words about me. And verbatim, this is what they said. I'm not going to say the person's name, but they stated, "Oh man, I used to work with Eddie back in the day. This nigga ain't got no hoes." This nigga ain't had no hoes. He was like low-key weird. He was on some funny stuff probably. I don't know. And to say that about a person that is all, and I don't get where that came from. First of all, we're grown men. I'm 37 years old. This guy's in his mid-30s. These are conversations you shouldn't be having as a grown-ass man. Like, having hoes in your late 30s is not an accomplishment. Maybe having a few women you talk to here and there, that's normal. But having hoes, that's just ignorant at this age. But to make a long story short, that was a low-level conversation that he tried to have. And the other mistake that he made was thinking that the information would not get back to me, right? I would say for the most part, these conversations are sad, and you really shouldn't take too much into what people say about you. However, what the issue was to me is how comfortable this person felt expressing himself about me, a person who has never wronged him, a person who has never spoke on him like that. But this guy was shitting on me out and about. And I think that the issue I had with it is when you emphasize on just being a decent human being, sometimes you have to respond to people who feel too comfortable shitting on you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to tell somebody, hey, I see what you're doing. It's fucked up and you need to stop. Mm-hmm. Because the thing about it is I'm going through a lot right now too, because my father is literally dying. Stage 4 cancer. It might have a year to live, if that, right? And I'm dealing with that and processing that. And then this news comes to my doorstep, and it may not seem like a lot, but I can't trust myself. If I was to see this individual out in public somewhere, mm-hmm. I probably would have fucked him up. But based on the fact that I grasped this individual's number, I called them, I spoke to them respectfully and very calm, and I stated, hey, I've got word that you spoke about me in a disparaging way. First time he didn't answer the phone. I said, I got news. You spoke about me in a disparaging way. I have not seen you in over 8 years. This is weird. You know, you shouldn't have anything to say about a person you don't have a relationship with. I don't understand why you're doing it, but I just wanted to let you know this is not okay, my brother. You know, and I prefaced the respect thing because I'm not going to call like I'm running down on you, but I need you to know that you need to shut the fuck up in the most respectful way, mm-hmm. because it is not okay. It is not okay to reference a person from 8 to 10 years ago. Here's the sick part, folks. There's somebody that we all know. There's probably somebody that you know that you haven't seen since high school, and that person is talking about you right now like they know you in present tense. Mm-hmm. There's somebody you probably got in a fight with in junior high, and they still don't like you from getting in a fight and beating them up in junior high. Mm-hmm. People don't evolve. That's the point I'm trying to make. Mm-hmm. And when they don't evolve mentally, they create a fixed image of you, and it allows them to hold on to the bias that they have about you. Mm-hmm. And motherfuckers need to stop this shit. There's somebody like Brittany's a bitch. She doesn't do anything. She's such and such. And the girl probably ain't seen Brittany in 15 years. Mm-hmm. Brittany goes to church. Brittany has a family. Brittany has a career. Brittany ain't thinking about you or talking about you. But you talking about Brittany. Why are you talking about Brittany? That shit is crazy. It's weird and it's too prevalent in society. It needs to fucking stop. I had a conversation with a dude, the employee over at Current Oil. Shout out to Jordan, my man Jordan. And we were talking, and he said his grandmother is like that. You know, I think it's a brother or a family member he had, and they used to do drugs or whatever, right? But they've been clean. They got a family. They go to church, all of that, right? Mm-hmm. Grandmother asked on multiple occasions, oh, what is he doing? He's still running the streets doing those drugs. Mm-hmm. Person, they did drugs in over 7 years.
Yeah.
It just, the sad part is when people mention you and they defame your character, it's intentional because they hate the fact that if they acknowledge you in the now, it has to be positive. Mm-hmm. So they don't have the, I guess I won't say intangibles, but they don't have the maturity to acknowledge you in the present for who you are. So they have to reach back 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. They have to reach back this long ago. And then the feelings back then probably wasn't even valid. Because the dude talking about me said I didn't have no hoes. Mm-hmm. And back then, I'm not going to say I had hoes, but I had girls there. So, I ain't never seen but no girls. I'm not proud to say it, but at that job, I fucked 6 chicks there. Nobody knew I was fucking chicks at the job because I wasn't no goofy nigga telling everybody who I was fucking with. Nobody knew it. That's the thing. When you a man, you don't need to have your sexual conquest plastered all over the place. Mm-hmm. Period. Keep it private. But some people so dumb, they like, I'm getting pussy. Look at me, man. Look, I'm doing a pussy dance. Look, pussy dance.
Pussy dance.
You retarded ass nigga. You should have just shut the fuck up and not say nothing. Stupid. Just dumb.
Gotta do the pussy dance, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think I was reading this, and I might be quoting it from the wrong place, but I think I was reading this yoga book.
Oh shit!
And it talks
freaky.
It talked about how I don't know where I heard this from. I'll be listening to all kind of different stuff, but basically it alluded to this idea that we are not, like, over the course of like 7 years, I believe it said, like all the skin cells in your body have like died and, you know, renewed essentially. So like literally you're not the same individual
100%.
you were X amount of years ago. And that was just like in reality, but like metaphorically, you know, we change over time. I was talking to somebody was referencing a relationship, and it was like, yeah, like, you know, my husband, like, he's an entirely different person. Like, you know, just look at the stuff that he's into, the things that he's interested in. Like, however many years ago, he wouldn't even be interested in those same things. And we're doing a disservice to just everybody to think that people can't change and grow and
right there you go.
You know, just mature in any kind of way.
Right.
Like, you know how it is, like in especially here in Bakersfield, because this is like sometimes it's like a huge despair when people's journey through life, right?
Right.
So it may be a guy that's like 18 years old still catching the get bus to get to BC, to get to Cal State or whatever the case may be. And then you could be doing really good now, really good for yourself.
Yeah, you go.
Could be, you know, you might have your own business or something like that. And that dude will come up to you like, hey, man, remember you used to catch the bus back in the day?
Happened to me before.
Dang, man, I drove by you one time. I didn't know if it was you or not, so I didn't really stop.
Right, exactly.
But it's just like, dog, like, people can grow. And sometimes I'm a victim of that myself. I remember once, this was years ago, there was this girl, I don't even remember her name, but it was at a certain point in our lives, like there was like just a different type of social media community, especially with Facebook. So it would be people that you would be like Facebook friends with that you just didn't really know, or, you know, they friended you and they would post a lot and you would have opinions about them. Yes. And I can remember there was this girl, she had like moved to Texas or something like that and got into a relationship. She might have got engaged and stuff like that. And me, I'm just referencing her in her whole phase. You know what I mean? So I'm a victim of it myself. And I don't know what her relationship looked like, but she seemed to be happy, and she obviously, you know, was putting on the image of a committed relationship. Right. So I just think, like, as people, we gotta give people grace and allow them to grow. I know there was my aunt's husband. He had this is like third party information that I'm getting, but he didn't want to go to the church that we go to because he was basically saying, I know the pastor. Right. I know, like, you know, I know him on a personal level, and I know the kind of stuff that he used to do back in the day. But it's like, this man, pastor, is 57 years old. Right. I don't even think he got the energy to do the stuff that he was doing back in the day. So it's just like, you know, we gotta give people an opportunity to grow and mature out here, and we can't keep holding them to the standards. And I think Charlemagne says it all the time. He's like, you know, I think in this society, Malcolm Little would have never been able to grow into Malcolm X, and
we would have not let him.
Yeah, we would have not let him, you know, grow into Malcolm X. So it's like people, our journey is what makes us who we are. So if there's no trials, tribulations, mistakes, whether that, you know, mistakes come in the form of, you know, infidelity or just, you know, I don't know, getting caught up doing all kind of stupid, whether it's, drinking all the time or whatever the case may be. There's some people that drink every single day and they just stop cold turkey.
Yeah.
But we still look at them as that alcoholic,
Facts.
from years ago. So
yeah, in regards to like a girl being a hoe or whatever like that, right? One thing about hoes, they gonna find love.
a whole lot of love.
A whole lot of love. Right? I've seen it myself.
Yeah.
So, they could be a hoe and they'll find love.
Yeah.
But if they get single, they'll be hoeing again.
That's comedy. I feel like I don't know. That's crazy.
That'd be funny if you get smoky. Chicks be like, I'm not a hoe. But when they leave, I'll be hoeing again. Nah, man, you shouldn't. I know women who were very promiscuous in college.
Yeah.
Very promiscuous, but they're married, they're moms, they got careers. I don't look at them as a hoe.
Yeah.
I don't. That was a phase. A lot of people go through a whole phase, or a phase where they was alcoholic, or a phase where they was fucking a lot of people, or a phase where they was doing drugs, a phase of whatever. Mm-hmm. But you got to understand, a lot of times people that really care, as they get older, they get closer to becoming their higher self. Mm-hmm. And they push away from these things. But you as a person, you have to look at people for where they are and where they came from. Mm-hmm. I know some people who was like super poor in high school, where they didn't hardly have no clothes. Clothes was dingy. They smelled and shit. Mm-hmm. And then now I see them on social media and they Gucci down from the fucking shoes all the way up to the top. I know a guy, he's like, I'm at the Gucci store right now. This is what I do. This is my guilty pleasure. And he didn't leave with 2-3 shirts. This motherfucker had like 12 shirts. Mm-hmm. Gucci down.
Some racks in there, huh?
Yeah, and this the Gucci store. Mm-hmm. This nigga was Gucci the fuck up.
That nigga was Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane. Brr. But yeah, that's the thing, man. You can't look at him. And what's the fucked up thing is people who aren't happy with their lives, they'll look at this guy with the Gucci and say, man, remember when he used to stink? Hey, remember when he used to stink? Hey, remember when you used to smell bad, man?
That's crazy.
So you just ignored that I got like $10,000 worth of Gucci shit in my bag. You want to make fun of me? Mm-hmm. First of all, sometimes people that do that shit where they got to reach back in order for it to them. Because here's the problem. People that have a fixed image of you, they reach back to a time where they think they were better than you. First of all, nigga, you ain't never been better than me.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you look at people and meet them where they are, the sad part about it is you probably will feel inadequate. Because if you want to keep it real, the people that try to play you like that, look at them and then look at you. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be like, yo, I'm not trying to down nobody, but sometimes you got to talk your shit.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, I'm taller than you. I look better than you. I make more money than you. I got a better looking wife, a better looking girlfriend. I got a better looking car. I got a better house. I got better everything. I'm smarter than you. Yeah. I'm quicker than you. I'm in better shape than you. And you a hoe. And when you do that sometimes, then you like, okay, this was the reality. This is why this motherfucker's acting the way he is. Yeah. I'm not narcissistic for feeling that way. Sometimes you really need to evaluate who the fuck you are. Mm-hmm. Don't let motherfuckers play you, man. Mm-hmm. Don't let people play you. Especially don't let them play you when you've worked to attain a goal or a lifestyle and you literally, sometimes you're just that nigga, bro. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, and it's like, without being narcissistic, you have to give yourself some credit for where you are. Mm-hmm. There's some things there's some things and some that you attain that most people have not. Mm-hmm. And they got to keep on reaching back to a time or a point of reference for them to belittle you. I had a motherfucker tell me before, because back when I was in my mid to early 20s, I was going out a lot. And I seen this particular person. And the last couple interactions I had with them, they said the same thing. Man, I saw I see you walking, man. I see you walking. And I'm thinking, like, first of all, I haven't walked in years. I've always had a car. But when I was walking and I was poor, it would have been nice if you was a real person and gave me a ride, or maybe just not mention the fact that you seen me walking. But the fact that you've done that and you said that in front of people, it was an attempt to belittle or make me look small in front of them. Yeah. And I got to talk my shit. I'm sorry. And I don't want to be mean. But you want to flash forward today, I got a much better life than you have. I'm just sorry. I do.
Yeah.
So when you see me now, you don't have a choice but to be like, oh, what's up, Eddie? And just move the fuck on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. And that's the thing. That's another reason why I want to be successful. Because I low-key want to pull a Charlemagne on some of these niggas, man. Because Charlemagne say word for word everybody that fired him. Like everybody, he said so-and-so for power 10435. Lucius something, he fired me. And then so-and-so, he fired me for no reason.
Yeah.
And then they fired me. And then he said that on Joe Rogan too. That shit was hilarious.
Sometimes you gotta like one thing, and this is a slight tangent, but sometimes like the people that slighted you on the way up, you gotta say it, because
man,
otherwise people gonna fall into the same situations that you fell into.
Facts.
Like I had a friend, and it's his story to tell, so I'm not gonna tell it on air, but he's dealing with like this record label who essentially had him do like a month's worth of work and never paid him, right? And then his boy got on. He was like, I'm not gonna say nothing because I'm gonna let him have his own experience. I don't want to seem like a hater, blah blah blah. And then his boy get on, and he do 2 months of work for free. And I think like the reason I think it's important to have these kind of conversations, and then in terms of just like people that slighted you in any type of way, is because we're habitual people, right? So we're in most cases we don't have like a unique experience. Like a person that's gonna slight you is gonna slight somebody else. Right. So if we're not necessarily saying names, but in terms of that conversation, like I think it's important to call people out by name, like Charlemagne is doing. Such and such fired me from radio in Philadelphia.
Said I never make it in radio.
Yeah. Or you might get to a place where you like, man, it ain't even worth it. Bro, I'm just telling you the story, but this is what happened to me. But this person shall not, he not gonna get no airtime on my podcast.
No. Not only that, the worst motherfuckers are the ones that try to speak limitations on you. You'll never do this, or you'll never be good at this or this. Yeah. I had a trainer. I swear to God, when I first got my CDL, I had a trainer that I had to go over the road with. Imagine 2 grown men sharing a truck, which got very worn out. But he told me, like, yeah, maybe truck is not for you, man. You don't seem like you're built for it. Motherfucker really told me that. Motherfucker really told me that. And 7 years later, I'm still driving trucks. Not only that, I'm local and I make decent money. So it's like, who the fuck are you to tell me that I'm not going to be good? I'm not going to make it in trucking, or maybe trucking's not for you when you are working a job over the road, nonstop. You never see your family, right? When I left that place, I was only on the road for 2 months. By the time I got back home, because I was off the road, like it wasn't for me, I had a job within like 4 days when I got back home. Yeah, I've been local ever since. He couldn't believe I landed a job in 4 days because I called him, but I called him just to kind of stun on him. Like, yo, man, I found a local job. Oh, where do you work at? Oh, man, just this place. Yeah, man. Some motherfuckers, man, don't let them front on you, bro. Yeah. Oh, here's another one. And I know some of y'all might be going through it. You're around a lot of family, right? Let's say a lot of your family is not in good physical health. Let's say a lot of them is out of shape. And let's say you kind of out of shape, right? And then you decide to go on this health journey. You eating cleaner food, you working your ass off. And let's use a woman for an example. And all of a sudden your ass start popping out. Boom, ass popping out. Thighs getting tight. Waist shrinking up. Everything is on point. You got your hair done, your nails done. You look like a motherfucking IG model, a real one with a real body, not the BBL. But anyways, you've done all this work on yourself, and now you notice your family are revealing themselves. Now they're saying things like, "You still going to the gym? Why you go to the gym so much?" They will literally start like almost downing you for doing positive shit. Yeah. Just because they can't help the fact that you've transformed your life into something great. When the people that really expose themselves are the motherfuckers that will talk down on you for doing something positive. You going to that financial seminar again? Yeah. Why you trying to get financially literate for? Yeah. Why did you get an LLC? Why are you going to use an LLC for? You want to start a business? Why you opening a barbershop?
There's definitely a tone. There's this.
You still doing that little podcast?
There's a work that I do, like in the form of self-help, that I'm kind of like, I'm gonna say I've been doing it for the past let's say maybe like 3 months. And I start to hear that tone.
What?
Like, oh, you're still doing that? Or, oh, you think you'll be doing that for like, for the rest of your life? And I'm just like, yeah, it's helped me out a great deal. It's changed my life.
Right. When people kind of formulate these questions, they don't realize that how bad I feel for you. I feel bad for you. Don't feel bad for me. Don't look at me like I'm the one delusional.
I'm the one enlightened out here.
Right. I'm the one enlightened. I'm the one that I know myself.
Yeah.
And I want to become my higher self, and I know what that entails. So I'm on a journey. I have a passion. I have multiple passion projects and things that I'm working on. And you don't understand it because you just do what you do over there. But do me a favor and just stay the fuck over there and stop questioning what I'm doing. You don't even know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
I feel bad for some people, man. I really do. Like, I've said it many times, and I mean it. This will be one of the top podcasts in America someday. I really fucking feel it, and I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I don't have a choice. Otherwise, why the fuck would I be doing it? You know? It's like somebody playing basketball, and he's probably in junior high or high school, and they're like, so what do you want to do? You want to just like, do you want to just go to college and then that's it? He'd be like, I want to go to the NBA. And then people going to literally be like, you want to go to NBA, man? You're 5'11". You're 5'11", Dave. You got to have realistic goals. Well, here's the problem with that. Why can't I think I'm going to the NBA? Because even if I don't make it, I will get as close as you can fucking get to the NBA. Why would I not try to get there? Think about the logic with that. If I don't make it to the NBA, maybe I could go overseas and play.
Yeah.
Maybe I could play in maybe I could play in the G League. Maybe I could play in some other professional league. But you just telling me I should never even have that in my fucking...
try.
Not even try?
Yeah.
A lot of motherfuckers don't even try. Man, Keith.
Don't even try.
Man, Keith, are you still trying to... Why are you trying to be a good person, man? What's up with that?
Yeah. That's a wild statement.
That's basically
so you just
what
want to be an asshole your whole life?
Yeah, you just want to be a piece of shit. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is imagine like I mentioned, the weight loss journey, and you start reading a lot, and you learn, you go to therapy. There are some people that do a full fucking makeover. I'm talking about a real makeover, therapy, weight training, getting a diet right, reading books, becoming more financially literate, and they do it so much that in 5 years it becomes them. Those habits start to consume them. Yeah. They become a new person. And the people that knew them 5 or 6 years ago was like, this is how they interpret it. Did you see Jessica? She thinks she's better than everybody. Jessica don't think she's better than everybody, but she is.
She is better than everybody.
She's better than you?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the you always hear the people like, man, I never changed. I was the same nigga since day one. And I get that it's a cliche that doesn't literally mean like you're the same person, and more so means like
change is good.
You're not getting Hollywood on people or whatever the case may be. But in terms of just changing, like you said, change is good. Because we have some things. You don't know what you don't know, right? So there's some bad habits that we all have, or some things that some areas in our life where we kind of lack in, whether that's losing weight or,
Facts.
Financial literacy, spending a lot of money and all these different things and stuff that we could kind of nip in the butt, and then it could literally change the trajectory of our lives. But it comes with like changing, you know what I mean? And growth and the maturation. And kind of going back to that original point, like sometimes that requires like a change in your tone. Facts. Sometimes that requires like a change in your conversations. One person could call you like, "Hey man, let's go to Bricks on Friday," or "Man, I just had this wild night with this girl, man. She had a fat booty," and it's just like you just listening like, "Hey bro, I'm not really interested in those type of conversations.
I'm just not."
And they like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, sometimes it like when you make real strides in your life,
right?
It like what I realized in terms of like, my goal my goal is to be a working filmmaker. Like, right, I have a script that I want to make this movie in Bakersfield, and I'm going to do it, right? And but what I realized in that journey, I had to like get some things right, like some other procrastination things. I had to 100%. I had to get together like some communication things that I had going on, get right with my moms and some other. So it like. I have this destination, and I realized that there were some things that were like preventing me from really doing it full circle.
100%.
Some issues I had with being vulnerable and stuff like that, and just telling people what I'm going through. So you get right with all that stuff, and then it's like, oh, okay, I could finally see the light at the end of the tunnel because everything is kind of like moved out of the way.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You would think that certain things don't have anything with where you want to go or whatever your destination is, but there's so many things that encompass that whole energy.
Yeah.
Like it's things that you don't think that could prohibit you from making it there, but it's little shit.
Yeah.
The conversations you have, the most conversations you have, the most common conversations you have, excuse me. The women you deal with, you can't be trying to focus on writing a script and you dealing with hoes.
It don't work.
It don't work. You need level-headed women. You need good friends. You need good energy. You need to be well-read. You need to have a system and something that's keeping you locked in on what you want to do. You can't be drinking alcohol every motherfucking day and be the best writer. Some people say, well, no, that's not true. I know some people that those people are anomalies.
Yeah.
They're functional alcoholics. We talking about regular people now.
Yeah.
You got to lock in. And by locking in on whatever it is, that means you got so many things, like the way you deal with people. The women is a big one, believe it or not, because the shit will catch up to you. If you just a dog ass motherfucker, you treating women like shit, calling them bitches and shit, and treating them bad. Yeah, that shit could fuck your whole career up. You look at a guy like Nick Cannon, bro. At some point, he gonna stop getting gigs because he fucking everybody. This nigga having another baby. That's crazy. That is just sick. Like, bro, I understand. Like, but here's the thing too. Nick got a problem, but ain't nobody talking about these sorry ass women though. They sorry. They sorry. People will say, well, you don't know them. You can't say that. You are sorry. You a sorry motherfucker because you had a baby by a dude that got 9, 10 baby mamas. You did it to create a lifestyle. You sorry. That's sorry, bro. What the fuck? No one talks about that. But imagine this. Imagine you go to a major network. They want to start this new multi-billion-dollar streaming service. And then I'm Nick Cannon. I walk in there. They gonna think, oh, this nigga got 20 kids. I can't have him up here representing my company. Let me choose Eddie McGee.
You need a reality show.
You need to. Yeah, what you eliminate opportunities from your life based on your lack of control in other situations. If you have slapped every woman you've dated, and they had some form of complaint about you slapping them in the face, and you walk into you walk into another multi-billion-dollar deal and you say, hey, yeah, man, I've been doing this. I'm a big fan of this. Disney going to be like, this nigga slaps women. We cannot have him up here.
Yeah.
You killing opportunities with your lack of behavior.
I think one thing I realize is like how you do anything is how you do everything. Facts. Right? Like I know people that have like habits with not finishing food, right?
Oh God, I hate those people.
It'll be like, just say they have a hamburger. It'll be like one bite just left on the thing, and they'll throw it away. But that translates to other aspects of their life, right?
Finish the job.
You don't finish, like, oh, you have this great idea to do this mural in your house or something.
For the love of God, ladies, when you come, shit.
I'm dead. But yeah, so like it goes in every aspect of your life. So that person that is not disciplined enough to not have so many kids, or that person that's not disciplined enough not to cheat, like it all works as one. You got it. Like us as individuals, our lives are all like every aspect of it is intertwined, right?
Yes.
So, that person that is like abusing their wives is going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, and it's going to prevent you from doing what you need to do.
Exactly.
And then the lies keep going, right? So that is, the infidelity is essentially like a lie. But it's like, where else in your life are you lying? You're probably lying to your kids. You're probably lying to your moms. You're probably lying. And then, the little things start to come up. Like, hey, where you headed? Oh, I'm going to the store. And then really you going somewhere else. And, it's just the whole thing. So I think like the best thing for anybody to do is to kind of live. You want to be that person you are when like nobody is around or nobody can see you.
That's
you want to
big.
You want to make sure that person is tight.
Yes. Gotta be tight. Gotta be wet. No, you're 100% right with that. Because the other day, I think it was a week or so ago, my house wasn't all messy or anything, but I had some shit that needed to be buttoned up. And I was about to go to the gym. And I closed the door and I made sure I cleaned the dishes. I wiped all my counters down, mopped the floor, vacuumed up real good. Then I went to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a certain type of how do you say? There's certain, I guess, principles or certain things you need to build up within yourself. And it needs to be real.
Yeah.
It needs to be real. It can't be something like, I'm gonna try to do this. Like, no, nigga, you need to button down and do this. That needs to be who you are. Because a lot of times we think about, even if it's just being clean, right? We'll be like, oh, I'll get to that later. I just live here. Nobody else live here. It's just me. That doesn't matter. Okay, imagine when you get a lady, right? Y'all in love and shit. She living with you now. It is not a woman's job to clean up after you. You a grown ass man. You better get down there and pick that fucking shit up. You better be able to pick. If you make a mess, you spill some shit on the ground, don't leave it there for your girl to clean up. You're a grown ass man. There's no reason why you should be leaving that shit on the fucking floor. You should not be throwing your underwear on the ground. Everything should be put away in a hamper, in the dirty clothes or the clean clothes, or it needs to be folded. Whatever the case, you shouldn't have a bunch of shit on your counters. Get your shit in line so it won't be a problem. I think that when you do enough if you look inward, if you're a very introspective person, if you do that enough, you will make it very convenient for whoever comes into your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, like I was saying before, how you do anything is how you do everything. Kind of to go along with that point, I was talking to one of my OGs earlier, and he was like, we were just talking about a bunch of stuff, generational wealth and all that. And he was like, man, we gotta go have lunch one day. And I was like, one day never comes, so we gotta set a date right
Facts.
now. And I pulled out my phone and I was like, okay, we're gonna have lunch on this day. And that's how I operate now. You know what I mean? But the funny part is, going back to the original conversation, somebody may hear that conversation and be like, oh, keep change. Like, he moved different now. Like, I don't know. I try to call him one day and he don't even answer the phone like he used to. Or
he don't use condoms no more.
For sure ain't using no condoms. Spreading my seed. That nigga Nick Cannon, he done laid the blueprint. If you want to have $500 million, you just got to start going raw in these hoes.
To be honest, I don't know Nick Cannon personally as a human being, and he may be a decent person. But truth be told, that is a massive character issue.
It's a problem.
It's a massive character issue that you're doing this with this many women. And it's like, I don't know what your objective is. I don't know. You trying to start a basketball team or something. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do. But goddamn, motherfucker, shit.
We had the conversation before, but the idea, like, I know what it looks like to, not personally, but just from family members, I know what it looks like to have uncared or unattended children or uncared for children, and having a lot of kids, and also trying to like be a successful entertainer and content creator and all this stuff. It just doesn't work. It's just not. It's really not enough time in a day, and it does take a village, but we understand the importance of having a father figure in the household.
You've literally just you've reduced your children's whole life. Here's why. There's such a, I won't say it, there's kind of a domino effect, but not really. I will say, you look at the woman who had a kid by Nick Cannon, right? Think about how hard it's going to be for her, and forget what she's talking about, but for her to find a male role model for her child, because Nick Cannon is just busting nuts in everybody. He's not going to be an in-house father. He just got you pregnant and you accepted the lifestyle, but you don't have a man in the house to help you raise the child. And I know we live in a time where people say, you don't need two parents. You should. I think you are shortchanging.
There's science to back it up.
Right. You are shortchanging the child. By saying, I don't need a man. Well, a man stuck his dick in your vagina. That was enough. You needed a man then, but not one to raise the fucking kid. Hello? Like, people got to cut this bullshit out. It's unfair. A lot of kids ain't having 2-parent households, and that ain't right.
Yeah.
That ain't right, man. It ain't right. And you made it even more unattainable, because it's going to be a bunch of niggas like, yo, that's Nick Cannon's baby. I ain't finna be around her. I can't be stepdaddy to that.
Yeah.
Because Nick Cannon, the way he got these women, even if they get married, Nick Cannon could probably still come over there and fuck.
Ain't no telling.
He'll be wilding out on that pussy.
You stupid.
He'll be in there freestyling, hitting the pussy. The reason why I'm here is for the pussy, but you was a wussy.
Yeah. That's funny.
Man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wild times. Nick Cannon's a wild boy, I'll tell you what.
Them wilding out girls.
Yeah, those girls are getting, they're getting.
People be living like, when you get really wealthy, and you don't even need to be like really wealthy, you could be semi-rich. You could be making $250,000, $300,000 a year. When you start to get into those numbers, like, your lifestyle almost becomes unrealistic.
Yes, it does.
The access you have, the type of women you get, the type of people you run into,
because they see you.
And then like, if you're not checking your ego at the door, you could get real cocky with it. Like, in terms of like the infidelity and cheating.
Yes.
Like, well, my girl gonna leave me? Like, I'm the one that's paying all the bills. She gonna leave me.
Yeah, that's true. You can start thinking that certain things you're doing are normal when they're not. Like, you shouldn't have a threesome 2 times out of the week. Like, that many women didn't want to give you pussy before you had all that money, sir. You need to slow your roll, brother. Slow your roll.
Yeah.
And here's the problem too. There's some men that their ego will get exploded when they get that money, thinking that, having threesomes and shit is what you doing. But here's the problem: is the girls that you fucking, they were fucking other guys the same way. So like, don't act like you're a unique experience, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just glad that me and Keith are of age. So I think when we attain the success we want, we're gonna be so buttoned down in our truth and our responsibilities as men that we just, we're not gonna be swayed and be into some fuck shit. You're not gonna hear about me and Keith in some type of tabloid.
Yeah, but I think for us, the money is just a byproduct of my goal, right?
100%.
So I want to be a working filmmaker, an artist, and that's nowhere in there is like getting rich or making $1 million, right?
No.
That's just a byproduct. If you direct Black Panther 2, you're gonna probably get $1 million, check, or I don't know how much, Brian Coogler is getting paid to shoot that movie, but it's just a byproduct of, working in the entertainment industry. But the goal is the goal.
Yeah.
The money is just a byproduct of that. So when you think about attaining your goal or, whatever, like if you win the lottery tomorrow, you might have a little extra pep in your step, but like,
you didn't do anything to earn that. Too.
Yeah, exactly. That to me, that's still not my goal. My goal is not to just have a lot of money. My goal is to do what I want to do. So
that's the scary thing about the lottery. Like, if you really follow the stories, motherfuckers literally die like a year and a half after they won the lotto, and they go broke too, which is crazy. There's some people that won $20-30 million. They lost everything.
Man,
it's like,
that's
God
possible.
damn.
You realize, like, one, it's not. That's a lot of money, but it's enough money to spend.
Yes,
and
it
then
is.
also like if you're not, you could get your tax return, right? It could be like $4,000, and that could be going in 2 weeks. That could be going in a week if you're not finding a way to make money. So
yeah, there's somebody probably in 1990, right? They won the lotto, and that was what was that 31 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So look, let's say in 1990 they got $30 million, and then today they ran out of all their money. You still fucked your money up, believe it or not.
Yeah,
you still fucked it up, even with inflation and all that shit. You still blew your money.
Yeah.
With $30 million, you didn't have the mental just the knowledge of what it took to grow that 30 million.
Yeah.
Because that 30 million has to make it through inflation. It has to make it through because I think about how much shit cost in the 90s versus now. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. I posted a picture on Thursday, Throwback Thursday, and I posted the McDonald's prices in the 90s. It was a quarter pounder with cheese combo, and it was $3.29 for a combo.
That's probably
$3.29.
like what, $9 now?
Man, that shit up there, something like that.
Yeah, probably
like
10. Something.
Yeah. I was just like,
because what they do,
God.
they put the sandwich cost, and then they put the combo cost.
Mm-hmm.
But the combo that they put on there low key be like the small size.
Yeah,
so
bro.
Then they ask you the size, and the price ain't even on the menu.
Fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, McDonald's is expensive, bro. Yeah, and I'm not broke, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Especially when you're 37 years old and you remember getting McChickens for only $1.
The dollar menu?
Ain't no dollar menu no more, bitch.
Yeah. It's crazy. Talking about like financial literacy. That's why it's like for a lot of us, we gotta get right before we start to come across money.
Yes.
Right. Because I had a friend, and I don't know what happened, but some girl dropped some money off to him, and before it even hit his pocket, he was trying to spend it.
What?
Like we were just like hanging out, like writing and stuff like that. Some girl dropped some money off to him, and by the time he sat down, he was already offering to pay for people to eat or whatever the case may be. I'm like, bro, like it's burning a hole in your pocket. You could save that, at least stretch it for a week. You know what I mean?
But yeah, some people are so stupid that like having money for them becomes a status symbol too, where they'll have $1 million, but every time they go out to places, they'll be like, hey, I'm paying for everybody in here.
Yeah. And
they're like, oh my God, thank you. And in that moment, you felt like a big shot, but you just spent fucking $6,000 at McDonald's, you fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
If
that's
you're
that's not how you stay rich.
No, you don't stay rich. Like, here's the thing. You can be, what do you call that? A person who gives a lot.
Philanthropist.
You can be a philanthropist. Philanthropy is a good thing. But in order to make it to that point, you need to have a lot of resources, sir. If you own 50 rental properties, you can do some philanthropy.
Yeah.
If you own multiple lucrative businesses, you can exercise philanthropy. But if you just got motherfucking $1 million in the lottery, you might want to not give away money. You're better off not doing it. If people call you selfish, fuck them.
Yeah, there's a reason why you're able to sustain it versus them spending their tax returns in a week every time they get it. Yeah,
and in this society, we understand $1 million is not a lot of money. It's really not.
Yeah,
but
you can spend that fast.
But it is a lot of money in the sense that it is the most leverage that you will ever get in your life. $1 million gives you so much leverage to where you could literally devise a plan to grow that $1 million. You can literally figure out, hey, can I invest in this company here that they're just starting up? This restaurant that's starting up, I want this much percent. I want to own this much percent of this. If you own, let's say you own 13% of a very successful company, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah. You get a franchise. I think Rick Ross was saying he's like, we broke even after a year or something like that.
It took him
with
like
with the wing stops, and then he was bringing in money like a couple M's or $1 million a year.
I guess Gilly was trying to make fun of him recently for purchasing a cow, but initially that beef started.
Rick Ross is. It's like I wouldn't even question that. Like when you start to see the Jay-Z's, the Rick Ross's, the 50 Cents, and they start doing weird stuff, just like Jay-Z buying art and stuff like that. Like don't question. I think Drake had a line like kind of throwing shots at Jay-Z for buying art, but I wouldn't even question certain people's moves. There's certain people that just have a different frame of mind, and they also be around different people. I'm sure Jay-Z had a conversation with some very wealthy person.
I was going
like,
there.
Hey man, you should start investing in art. It's booming out here.
Yeah.
And then that's his life. So he rapping about it, and then people making fun of him, and you making fun of me for buying art? Oh, you just ignorant. You don't even know what's going on.
You know what's going on.
You making fun of me for buying a cow? Oh, you don't know what's going on. Yeah.
You know how much free milk I'm getting out of that cow?
Especially when you like, and I don't know what Philadelphia is like, but in Bakersfield, we grew up with the Future Farmers of America, the FFA and all them, and they was raising
out here.
Yeah, and they go to the fair and sell their pig or whatever the case every year and make some racks.
Make some racks off that motherfucker.
Exactly. So we know what that looks like.
High school kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we know some of them actually live on, farms, and they got real animals and stuff that they tend to.
I think the homie Marvin back in the day. Shout out to Marvin January. I think he had a pig and he sold it for some money back in high school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nah, man. In regards to what you said about Jay probably rubbing shoulders, it's kind of what I think about with like Kevin Edwards when he goes to these Bugatti things or whatnot. Yeah. I'm sure that there are people there that they rub shoulders and they have just literally listening in a conversation with a bunch of people who have these high-end cars. They've got businesses everywhere.
Yeah.
And they probably mention and say things.
Yeah.
And if you give them your business card, they might talk to you a couple minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and that one conversation is worth $230,000. The next guy's conversation is worth $400,000. You might get an M off another conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, well, they have these older cars here. These Bentleys are from 1940 something here. You get it for cheap for about $182,000. You go get one for $182,000, and then you rent that same Bentley out to Universal Studios, and they have it for 4 months, and you've made $3 million off. It's crazy shit. Mm-hmm. Andrew Schultz is talking about rich people too, about what they do with getting cars and how those cars hold value. They put those cars on Turo, and they go on Turo, and motherfuckers are just using these new cars, and they're making money around the clock, 24 hours a day. See, that's the thing, and I think that the limited access to financial or generational wealth, like a lot of black people didn't have access to generational wealth. If you understand the history or the historical context of, generational wealth in the black community, it wasn't very prevalent based on the fact that it was suppressed by the government and by systemic racism and by white supremacy. Like this is a real thing. If you actually understood, when people just say white supremacy, people be like, oh God, here they're talking about white people. Oh my God. But you have to understand that at that time, that was socially acceptable. It's not now, but there has been an obvious suppression in wealth and conversations surrounding wealth. And what happens is a lot of the conversations are new, even to Jay-Z, who's a billionaire. Yeah. A person that starts selling art in his 50s, people have been selling art for years. So this is information he's
investing in art.
Investing in art, right? And the thing about art, what makes it so expensive, is art is priced based on no metrics. It's not based off of he used this much paint or he used this much paint. No, it's based off. You can't
measure it.
No, you can't measure it. If I tell you that whatever's on this canvas is worth $200 million, that's what it is. Fucking Andy Warhol, how much is his paintings worth?
I don't know. Basquiat had the highest selling painting though.
What was his? Basquiat?
I don't remember specifically. I could probably look it up.
What's funny too is the whole idea with Basquiat. Freaking Jay-Z has the same type of hairstyle.
Yeah, that's probably his inspiration.
It's probably his inspiration. Curious how much his went for. Probably like $2 million or some shit. like $2.3 million.
I think it was way more than that.
Really?
Yeah, record-breaking, and I'm reading the headline, so if it's not exactly correct.
Okay.
But record-breaking $110.5 million.
Wow!
Basquiat shocks attendees at Sotheby's. $319.2 million.
Oh my God!
Post-war and contemporary evening sale.
What year was this, dude?
This is 17.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
See, this is nuts. And you talk about, you ever seen some artists that just go into fashion? Like A$AP Rocky is really into fashion, and people be like, "Man, what the fuck is he doing over there?" It's a lot of money in fashion.
Yeah,
a lot of money in it. A designer is over there too. The rapper designer, he's like involved in fashion.
That's cool.
So it's like, yeah, there's so many avenues to get money, man. But yeah.
That's what I realized that one day I was on YouTube, and your algorithm is catered to your searches. So sometimes I'll get a bunch of like music stuff that'll pop up. Sometimes I'll get a bunch of like Amazon, eBay stuff that'll pop up, and sometimes it'll be like virtual real estate. And I'm like, bro, it's not even about finding like, it's not a gold rush, right? Like everything is a gold rush. If you just hyper focused on like, this is like for me, right? Like I sold my first beat on this thing called BeatStar a few weeks ago, and I was like kind of juiced. I was like, dang, it's really people out here like selling. Like Lil Nas X, Old Town Road was a beat that was on that website that he just bought or whatever. And, dude made a lot of money or whatever. But I'm like, it's really just about hyper focusing on one of these avenues and just going crazy. So whether it's like, selling freaking mugs on eBay or selling beats on the website or just doing, talked about my boy, like if he just doing reels every single day, like it don't matter where you,
man.
It's just about putting your attention somewhere and being intentional about,
Chance the Rapper made millions off fucking hats.
With the 3 on it.
With a 3 on it. There's literally there's no real creative like process behind it. He just has a number 3 on the back. On the front of his hat. And he made literal millions.
Yeah.
Off of that.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's amazing. I think that I guess the I don't know. I don't want to call it simplistic, but it's just simple for some people to make money. There's somebody that's literally selling paper. Like they sell sheets of paper. There's a motherfucker somewhere selling paper and he makes $6 million a year. There's somebody, these little fuzz things, these little mic covers. It's a motherfucker that sells these. He probably makes $200,000 a year. He's probably somewhere in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And he sells foam covers for fucking microphones. I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy. And I'm not going to tell you what I do because I don't want you getting in on my business.
Yeah.
Don't try
and it be like some of it is like no brainers.
Right.
There's a million products in here and somebody sold it.
Yes.
And somebody made it. And then the person that made it sold it to somebody so they at a wholesale price. And then that person sold it on Amazon or 100%. eBay or whatever. And then it's just like, but we as the average citizen look at things as like unattainable.
Yes. And that's just not good. It's not, no.
Like we're consuming it all, but you think it's wild to own the company?
Like really? Yeah. And not only that, like if you really narrow things down, literally every single product in this room, everything that's on me and Keith, our clothes, everything has been on a truck. Everything. And those trucks go to certain docks. Those docks have a bunch of different products. Remember, I think it was during the pandemic, you had gotten some things and I went to grab you some masks. Like,
oh, yeah.
All that came off of a truck. Yeah, that all came off of a truck. So you could actually physically go out and get these things from certain distribution places. Yeah. You can literally sell them online. You can literally print things on them, create a price, create a website, and literally put out a product that you probably didn't do too much work to get out, but you can make a living doing it and run it up.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
And then that's just physical products, right?
Right.
There's like seminars and stuff you can sell. I'm taking a yoga class, and just for the sake of transparency, it's and I got a discount because I'm black. there's like a minority discount.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Just enter nigga 15.
Discount code nigga 15. That was funny. Discount code nigga 3/5.
Get 3/5 off right now when you sign up.
Nah, but yeah. So the class is, for me, it's like $140 a month.
Jeez, that's a whoa.
And it's like it might be like it's a few months. It's like
I need
5-6 months program or something.
I need some head with that price.
It's expensive. But I say that to say, like, the class, it has maybe like 9 of us in there, maybe. Yeah. So
you know what? Let me take that statement back. I'm not going to say that's too expensive. I'm going to tell you why. Because the cost that you pay for that is something that you genuinely need.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Let's say I start making more and more money and I pay per month, I'm paying let's say I'm paying $12,000 a month to an in-house chef. Mm-hmm. If I'm paying him $12,000 a month, this motherfucker knows how to make everything.
Yeah.
He knows how to cook everything.
Yeah.
He knows how to make it exactly the way that I want it.
Yeah.
I'm paying for convenience.
But even with that, like, outside of like the yoga, I'm technically learning to be a yoga teacher. So if I wanted to open up a studio here in Bakersfield, I could be a yoga teacher. Yeah.
You got to be careful though. Some of the yoga teachers be grabbing pussy and shit. Like, keep stretching, keep pulling it back, keep stretching that leg back. There you go.
Open it up right here. Just getting the downward dog. Okay, all right.
Like, why is there a hole in my legging? There's a picture of some yoga instructor and it's like viral, where he's like having these girls stretch, but as he's stretching, like, he got his hand like between her legs, like resting his hand on her stuff. And then people was just like, wait a minute, the yoga instructor ain't supposed to have his hand right there.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. It's like, because what I've learned in like yoga is that, like, there is it's like music, right? So when you look at the Billboard Hot 100, you think that that's what great music sounds like. But in reality, that's just the most popular music. But there's some album that's like, maybe an artist got 100,000 streams a month, and he just got the most fire album.
It happens all the time.
Years. Yeah. So the same thing with yoga. Like, there's a very pop culture version of yoga that we get taught, or we kind of reference with the yoga pants and all this other stuff. But that's not like the real bare bones
yoga pants.
Some of them girls be thick, huh?
When a girl come over your house at 2 a.m. and she got yoga pants on with a sweater, you about to get some pussy.
Yeah.
You know it's going down when you see them yoga pants.
Oh, for sure.
But if they come over with some jeans and they got a whole like dress up, then just be prepared to finish that movie. That's all.
Them LA like yoga girls be like weird though.
What do you mean?
It'd be like the white girls with dreads.
Oh God, the very like very liberal white girls with dreads.
I've just been getting in touch with my chakras and stuff like that.
I mean, and every day I wake up, it's spinach tea and Mai Tai lattes. And,
Right now, I'm just on this like water diet. I just stopped eating food completely.
Yeah, it's just water and chia seeds and flax seeds and all the seeds mixed together to make a super seed. And like this is what I like to do in Black Lives Matter. And like,
I've just been making my own deodorant. I just crushed up some blueberries.
You got blueberry deodorant. Get the fuck away from me. Yo, this is not the time to use that natural deodorant.
It's too hot out here.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh my God.
But put some aluminum on.
This is how you know there's a political problem in America. If you could say certain things and it matches up with a party. For example, who eats bloody steaks? Conservatives. Mm-hmm. Who is more white with dreadlocks? Liberals. Who is more likely to have an American flag in their yard? A conservative. Who is more likely to be a vegan? Liberals. Who is more likely?
I'm 100%. I'm batting 1,000 out here.
Batting 800. Who is more likely to eat a veggie burger?
Liberals.
Who's more likely to eat a real burger? Conservatives. Who is more likely to drive?
Burger.
Hey, I'm not done. Who is more likely to drive a big truck?
Conservative.
Who is more likely to drive a Prius?
The liberal. Yeah.
It's sad, but it's like when you really
and they be mad at each other too.
Oh man,
driving that Prius. This guy with this big truck and all the smoke blowing out of it. They be mad, and he be mad at the Prius. Move that electric car out the way.
Yeah,
all kind of smog running out.
No, what they'll do is they'll smoke you out too. Mm-hmm. They'll drive by with like a Super Duty or whatever and be like, fucking liberals. And then they really turn it up.
Yeah. That's comedy. That's real.
Fucking
though.
black soot coming out that shit. I'll be like,
They
yo.
hating each other, bruh.
Oh, man. Mm-hmm. That's hilarious.
Yeah. No, that's real.
Switching gears. Switching gears. Law professor Kyra Bridges had a conversation with Josh Hawley, Senator Josh Hawley. And this is how it went. A heated exchange between Bridges and Hawley during a Senate hearing captures a larger debate over inclusive language in the abortion rights movement. During a Senate hearing on Tuesday about the impact of the Supreme Court's decision to reverse Roe v. Wade, the landmark case that provided a constitutional right to abortion, Senator Josh Hawley clashed with law professor Kyra Bridges over a series of questions about who can be pregnant. Hawley, a Republican from Missouri, asked Bridges, a law professor at the University of California, Berkeley, why she used the phrase people with the capacity for pregnancy when she described the impacts of abortion restrictions and bans. And this is what he said verbatim. You've referred to people with the capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women? Hawley asked. Bridges responded that many cisgender women who identify with their assigned sex at birth have the capacity for pregnancy, and that many do not. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy. She said, referring to people who identify as neither male or female. Hawley shot back. So this isn't really a women's rights issue. That's what he said. She says, we can recognize that this impacts women with also recognizing that it impacts other groups, Bridges said. Those things are not mutually exclusive. Hawley, because it's important that we mention all these things real quick. Hawley continued to press Bridges and asked her what core of the right to abortion is about. So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, Bridges responded. She continued and opens up trans people to violence. But then Hawley cut her off and the two began a tense exchange. So this is basically what happened. She then followed up with a question asking Josh Hawley, so do you believe men can get pregnant? And Josh Hawley said no. She said, well, then you're not recognizing that trans people can be pregnant or you're being transphobic. She accused him of being transphobic because he didn't think that men could get pregnant, which they cannot. Let me be very clear. This is why me and Keith wanted to bring this up. I believe that you can have an opinion and not be labeled, right? If somebody will label you transphobic, people are really big on labels. But even Andrew Schultz talked about this. People will label you, and that will make you radioactive, and people will not have to fucking talk to you. Racist, transphobe, woman hater, whatever. When people label you like that, you can't get that label off of you. Because motherfuckers want to call you that. But here's the truth. Men cannot get pregnant. And the problem that I have with her doing this is that when you do shit like this, you dilute women's contribution to society, right? If you want to make an argument that men could get pregnant, that's a slap in the face to women. We as men, we can never quantify what women go through at all. Women are the life source of the world, period. There is no life without women. So when you say shit like this, it's problematic. For example, A man will never know what it feels like to have swollen fucking feet while being pregnant. A man will never know how it feels to die during a pregnancy because women can fucking die while giving birth. A man will never know how it feels to have cramps so bad that he can't even leave the house. A man will never know how it feels to work out hard and you can't even really lose weight because you're running off pure estrogen. A man will never know how any of this shit feels. And there's a laundry list of shit that women go through with their bodies. Look, a woman can have a fucked up back for the rest of her life from having a pregnancy. Mm-hmm. A woman's feet could get bigger after having a baby.
Titties could get bigger.
Yeah, the titties part, that's nice. Some mommy milkers. But yo, women go through so motherfucking much. Leave it alone, Jack. Okay? Leave it the fuck alone. This is not okay. It is not okay. A woman is a woman. A trans woman is a trans woman. Do not get those twisted, because when you talk about the contribution that women make to the world is life. That is the number one contribution in America and around the world. Life. If women decided, hey, we ain't having no kids, we want a birth ban, we ain't having no kids for 20 years, we would be fucked.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what that would look like if there was no births on a given day.
We'd be fucked.
That's crazy.
America would be fucked if they did that. That's what the contribution is to the world, right? And I don't want to be a dick, but if you put a birth-born woman and a trans woman and you looked at the contributions, it is incredibly lopsided. And am I transphobic for saying this, or am I actually saying things that make fucking sense? Can you guys help me out, please? It's annoying when motherfuckers want to label you as transphobic just because you're making real points. And not to mention, in a world where women's rights and stuff is more aligned with, more liberal ideology, right? Mm-hmm. So they talk about whether it's Roe v. Wade or whatever's going on. I think that if you really support women, then you got to be careful with the conversations you having. You really need to be careful, because that's a slippery motherfucking slope. If you talk about the conservatives and they want to stop women from doing this and this and that, okay, I think that there's some validity to it, because a lot of conservatives like to conflate their religion into politics. Mm-hmm. And I see a problem with that. Mm-hmm. But when you talk about the liberals, you want to fight for women's rights while also oppressing women at the same time, because you will allow a birth-born man to compete in a women's sport. There are women getting the shit knocked out of them because they're fighting a man that has transitioned into a woman.
It's equality, though.
Yeah. I guess, bro, but that's not okay. I think there's a problem, and there's women being oppressed by this shit, because if you are ranked 462 as a male swimmer, and then you transition into a woman and become the number one swimmer, guess what you just did? You just took an opportunity from a woman that could have been number one.
You just took steroids.
No, you just had testosterone.
Yeah.
Good old-fashioned testosterone. Mm-hmm. And this shit's happening. There are trans women getting into MMA, and Joe Rogan talked about it. They called him a transphobe. But here's the thing. I talked about this. If my daughter, right, is competing and she busted her ass, and she fought and competed all day in and out, right? And she is a boxer. Mm-hmm. And she makes it to the end. She's fighting a trans woman, mm-hmm. and the trans woman put lumps on my daughter's head. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad at the trans community, but I'm going to be mad at the fucking institution for allowing this, because you ripped my daughter off and you allowed somebody to get in there that needs to be fighting somebody like them.
I'm not letting no trans woman put hands on my daughter. We got to squabble.
I'm being there beating Brenda's ass.
We got to fight. My daughter getting beat up. We got to squabble.
It's like, yo, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough. We've never had to as like in America, we've never had to deal with this, but I think that especially Gen Z, they just love to keep pushing the line. Just keep pushing the line. Just keep pushing the line. And you got to question this too.
Some of it is millennials too. I'm not going to just
Some
give
of it
Gen
is
Z.
because millennials and Gen Z are more alike than different. They're basically our kids. Like
Probably
for me,
my age and younger.
yeah, but what I'm saying is they're basically our kids. Me, I'm 37. So if I had a son at 20 something, he would be in high school.
Yeah.
Right? Which means he's a Gen Zer.
Yeah.
Gen Zs, a lot of them come from us. They are directly from us. And they're more alike than different, but at the same time, man, it's like, dog, there's certain conversations that really need to be had because this shit done went way south, sir.
Yeah, the thing for me is like I don't know. I don't even have the energy to have the trans person conversation. My thing is more so around the conversation that they were having.
Yeah.
The senator just asked a question, and she got like triggered. Like you know how it is when you're talking politics with somebody and they get triggered because they steer the conversation in a way where they start spewing facts.
Right.
Do you know that 27 1 in 4 trans people are committing suicide and all these different? It's like, yo, I just asked you a simple question, and you could tell, like, I think in terms of communicating about these dense topics and topics where, you know, there may be like a disconnect in the belief system. And Senator Hawley is a conservative. Yeah, where is he from?
Missouri,
a Republican senator from Missouri. But I think there was an opportunity there to have like a decent conversation.
Yeah, he was pretty level-headed.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if, you know, I don't really know his personality. I know he is a person that is like, you know, seems to be like very stern. I think he's went at Biden a couple times. But in terms of that conversation, and this is me just interpreting it, he could have been being condescending or whatever. I'm not too familiar with him as a communicator. But there was an opportunity there for both sides to be able to learn. And I think she got disgruntled, and it kind of like it ruined the conversation a little bit, because she could have responded in a way where it was like, hey, like, I understand that you believe that women are blah 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 blah, but and scientifically, or the way that we designate women now is X, Y, and Z. And I think he might have been more receptive of that. Or if he didn't believe it, if he was just like, I just don't necessarily agree with that, she would have been like, oh, you know, if the conversation would have went, you know, smoother, she could have been like, okay, you don't necessarily have to believe it, but as you know, a professor of, you know, in Berkeley, and the science that we've developed and researched and all that kind of stuff, this is what we believe on this side. And like, there was just a better way that they could have had that conversation. And when I looked at the comments, because I got triggered just because it was like, bro, we can't even have questions or conversations because it seems like people are so like politically charged that even in that conversation, it seems like she had like these talking points that she just wanted to get off. Like, you know, ask, do you, like, I don't know, I forget how the conversation exactly went, but he just asked one question and then she just starts spewing facts. It's just like, I just asked a simple question. Like, why are you taking it over here? Why are you thinking that because I asked a question, I'm being transphobic? Why do you think because I asked a question, I'm promoting violence towards trans people? I don't really get the connection. But I think when it comes to the LGBT community, when it comes to, you know, liberal people, there is a lack of communication skills. And I think the lack of communication skills primarily comes in the listening portion of the communication. Because if he says, if he just asks a simple question and you respond by saying that trans people are committing suicide, like, where in that is there an opportunity to respond in that way? You know, he's just asking, you know, few simple questions. So I think just overall, we need to do a better job of communicating. I think also we need to do a better job of understanding that not everybody is going to rock with our belief system. Not everybody. If you're a trans person and you think that you believe deep down in your heart that this is a lifestyle that is fitting for you, and this is your reality, and this is, you were born in the wrong body, whatever the case may be. I think the best thing that you can do is just rock out, live your life the way you live it, and not necessarily expect everyone to understand what you're going through. Because most people are empathetic in a way where they have had a similar experience. Most people don't have empathy in a space where they are not familiar with what's going on. Like, somebody like, let's say Vanessa Bryant, for instance, right? Obviously Kobe Bryant, her husband passed away. There's some person out there that was like, dang, man, like, I really like Kobe Bryant's shoes. It sucks that he not around no more, like something like that, right? And then there's a version of that person where if they significant other passed away, they would be like, oh my gosh, I completely understand how Vanessa Bryant felt. Mm-hmm. And that empathy would be on a much deeper level. So I think people, in terms of the trans community, you got to understand, like, there's a large section of people in society that just don't have enough empathy to really understand what you're going through. Yeah. And they may never. And that shit, that's just the world we live in. So I think instead of trying to argue with senators that are obviously conservative and obviously don't understand what you're going through, just understand that there's just a disconnect, and it's never really going to be any different.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that will have an opinion, and one of them is Macy Gray. Macy Gray stated, this is what she said on Morgan's show Uncensored on Tuesday. She said, I will say this, and everyone's going to hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your body parts doesn't make you a woman. Sorry. Gray said that while she supports trans rights, she draws the line at athletic competitions. She added, if you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want. But that doesn't make you a woman just because I call you a her. And just because you got a surgery, a woman goes through a complete unique experience, and surgery and finding yourself doesn't change that. Being a little girl is a whole epic book, You can't have that just because you want to be a woman. And the thing about it, dog, is like, even though it might hurt you to listen to that, that's not a transphobic statement. Mm. And all the headlines are like, Macy Gray makes controversial statement. That's not a controversial statement. What world do we live in where we got to fucking explain this? Why are you transphobic for stating the obvious? Let's reel it all in. Let's say you're a white guy, right? And let's say at the age of 21, you say, you know what? I identify as a black man. I'm now a black man. I'll be like, yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. You can't quantify what it means to be a black person in America. There's a whole experience that comes with that. I don't know what it's like to be Latino. I can't change my name to Eddie Martinez and now I'm Mexican. That ain't how it fucking works. So the question too is where do we draw the line? I feel Mexican, Keith. I'm changing my name to Eddie Martinez.
That's the day. I think we were talking about this on the phone. There's a danger in progressiveness.
Yeah, because there's no line.
Because it's not rooted in anything. No, anything could be anything. We feel a certain way, and I think that and this is a question that I have, and it's not meant to be disrespectful, because I know a former trans woman, and we got along. I went to school with. It's just a long story, but I went to school with her. Now it's a him. So that's the situation, which makes it kind of weird to talk about in the present tense. But when it comes to like what the next thing looks like, right? Like let's say it's not race. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's age. Mm-hmm. What if somebody says, I present myself as a 12? What if R. Kelly was like, I present myself as a 13-year-old?
Damn, he be getting all the pussy.
You know, but I'm just saying, like,
age would literally be nothing but a number.
Exactly. You know what I mean? What if I don't know, a 12-year-old was like, I present as a 21-year-old, and they just decide to drink, and you know, that's their age because they feel like they, you know, so, and that's a real feeling, right? There's a lot of people, will grow up, be like, well, I kind of, you know, can talk to older people. I feel a little bit more mature than the average person my age, you know. And I never really was like, man, I feel like I'm, you know, 40 stuck in a 12-year-old body. But, you know, you do have those feelings of like, oh, I'm a little bit more mature than the people around me.
You start to create this very like wacky barometer, right? Where people, you just don't, it's just so many varying things where no one has a real way of, and the thing about it, bro, is in society, we're not supposed to talk about this. We're not supposed to have an opinion on this. We're just supposed to allow you to push a narrative. And the thing about it is, you could be a regular person and not transphobic. And I hate the fact that you get a title for having an opinion. And then you have to explain yourself like, yo, I'm not a hateful person. I'm not going to treat somebody differently because they're trans.
You don't only get a title for having an opinion, you get a title for asking a question.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And, you know, here's the thing, too. How could we ever become, I won't say not acclimated, but how could we ever become accustomed to the trans experience if everybody's being labeled transphobic? Mm-hmm. And all these ideals are being pushed on people, and it's not the norm, meaning I'm not trying to say
like
it's
literally not the norm.
It's literally from a percentage. Most people are not trans. Mm-hmm. So when you got a whole world full of people who identify as men and women still, and you got to understand that is the majority of society.
Because that's what we're taught.
That's what we're taught. And within this, 10 years maybe?
I think that's, and this is third party information, but they're talking about on Joe Budden's podcast how they're now leaving the gender blank or something on the birth
This is crazy. This is too much. I got a dick. I'm a man. She's got a vagina. She's a woman. Okay? All this other shit, it's too much. It's too fucking much. However, if you are a trans woman, I will call you her.
Yeah.
I will.
Doesn't take that much effort.
I'm not going to be pushing back on you, because if I push back on you, be like, I ain't calling you a her and doing that. I think at that point, now you're getting kind of transphobic.
Yeah.
Now I think you're getting transphobic. If somebody wants to be called a her, that's fine. I just want us to have an open line of communication. But let's be very fucking clear here, man. I'm not going to embed myself in ideology I don't subscribe to. I don't have to. I genuinely do not have to. It's just, it's not fair to people who genuinely just want to ask questions and say, as a trans person, when did you feel you wanted to become a woman? Oh my God, why would you ask me something like that? I've always been a woman. Don't you listen? Yeah. And it's like, I went to school with you in 5th grade. Your name is Greg. Like you decided at the age of 18 that you wanted to transition into a woman, and you're mad at me for asking you a question? Like, nothing would ever exist without questions.
Yeah. There's
nothing in the world that would exist, including us. Because at some point, somebody was like, you gonna give me that pussy tonight? Had to ask for consent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Nah, but
I guess one thing I would push back on is that the professor is that I don't think anyone's ever died over a question.
No, they haven't. No.
You know what I mean?
It's non-trans. And here's another thing. There are non-trans people that are really like pushing the narrative, and they're exacerbating the world view of trans people. And the thing about it is we don't talk to enough trans people to really get, an idea. And Flame Monroe talked about it. She's a comedian, a trans comedian that says, I'm with Macy on that women are women and men are men. And if you're a trans woman, you are a trans woman. And it is okay. I don't think you're transphobic if you feel that way. There are a lot of trans people who just want to be trans people.
And Flame is she's a person that like sometimes presents as a male. And she talks about it. And she still has her male appendages. She just I think she got breast implants and she kind of, gets done up.
Some trans titties.
Yeah. But I think she talks about her sexual experience. She was like, I think she said she only has sex with women.
Oh, so, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, though, is like Andrew Schultz made a great point. Got a shout out to Brilliant Idiots podcast. But Schultz said that we don't have enough conversations with trans people to really understand what's going on. It's the same example of, some type of I won't say racial, but it could be a white person that's not racist at all. Mm-hmm. But they think it's a normal thing to ask a black person, hey, can I touch your hair?
Yeah.
That's not normal. Mm-hmm. But your lack of coexisting with black people. Like there's a lot of people in America that are segregated. They don't realize it. There's like a big group of black people in an area that hardly ever see white people, and vice versa for white people. There's some white people that live in Oregon that don't see no blacks. Mm-hmm. And the only form of black like existence that they see is maybe on rap videos or maybe watching a professional sport of some kind. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes down to them talking to an actual black person, they don't even know how to coexist with them. Mm-hmm. And some of that is true when it comes to trans people. I cannot tell you the last time I seen a trans person. The last time I seen a trans person was at McDonald's, actually. They was working the window at the one right over there off of Weibel.
There's a guy, there's a person in at the
clean
gym.
That up, huh?
Yeah, at the gym we go to, that I believe is trans.
What? Which one?
They got some titties.
Wait. What gym is this?
The same gym we go to.
What?
Yeah.
I ain't never seen them in there.
Said person be on a stair climber, getting it in.
Oh, yeah, I seen it. Yeah, I seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them all the time.
But they walk into the men's restroom.
I see them all the time, and they be putting in work. They be working hard.
They be getting it in.
Yeah.
Maybe this is me thinking now. Like maybe them ain't even like fake titties. Maybe they just got like, how some men just got like breast.
I don't know.
She might just be working it off.
I don't know, bro. All I know is I ain't never had no. I always see them in there putting in work, working hard. Mm-hmm. I don't identify them as whatever.
Yeah, we're having
a person putting in work.
I was having a conversation one day, and somebody was like, I kind of feel bad for them. Like, what if they get judged for going into the bathroom, or what if don't
feel bad, bro. You can't do that.
I was just like, they walk in that bathroom with so much confidence, nobody even question it.
No,
they just be going in there using the bathroom and walk right out.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest thing is confidence. Like if I confidently walked into the women's restroom, they would be like, "Oh, he's supposed to be here." And then you just walk out like
that'd be crazy. You walk into the girls' bathroom and you just be standing there peeing. You're like, who the fuck is this? I identify as a woman. Chill.
Giant. This is the hard part. Like,
right.
Niggas know how to take advantage of things, right? So, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Because if like, let's say like a friend, not, I don't even want to really say nobody's name. Let's say like who's like a huge bust in the NBA. Let's say like
I don't know what you're gonna say.
Who's the guy that got drafted ahead of Kevin Durant? The center that went to the Trailblazers. You know what I'm talking about? He went to
Greg Oden.
Yeah, Greg Oden. What if Greg Oden was in and out the NBA and he just was like, I'm a woman now. Like you could just see how people could start taking advantage of the system, you know. And then it's like we have to respect it, right? Because you can't accept this person just because they have this experience and this person because, you know, their experience is a little bit different.
Yeah. There was a dude named Zuby, I think his name is. I think his name is Zuby. He was on Joe Rogan. He broke a women's, he said he identified as a woman and he broke all the women's records.
And what?
Weightlifting.
See?
Yeah. This is why, like, yo, we got to let women have their shit, bro. Yeah. We got to let women, and we got to appreciate it. It's some really strong-ass women. I know some women that can lift a lot of weight. But, you know, as men, we have an advantage. We have testosterone. And if you lift weights regularly, you having the one up on women. Women got to work. For a woman to squat over 300-something pounds, they got to work their fucking asses off.
There's probably not one, and I'm not even like a weightlifter. Like, I'm just like, I just go in there and, you know,
I'll be lifting.
Do my thing, right?
They call me Osama bin lifting.
Okay. We'll just go. We're gonna edit that one out the podcast. But you know, me just off of like primarily like natural strength, I don't lift to like try to get like extremely strong, right? I don't see a woman in the gym that is stronger than me. You know what I mean? I don't see. There's a couple women in there that are like physically fit, and there's some women in there that like that do their thing and they work really hard. But I don't see a woman in there that's like putting up more weight than me just regularly. So that just goes to say,
girls know some fat booties, bro. They be in there squatting some heavy weight sometimes.
Yeah, I believe it. But you know, just on a regular basis, I'm just not seeing a woman that's like just stronger than me. No. And there, I mean, in the world, there's probably women that could definitely squat more than me.
For sure.
But yeah, so you know, that just kind of goes to say like the advantage that I have just being a casual gym goer, you know. So
yeah, man. There's that, man. I don't know how much we could offer that conversation, man. But
yeah,
you know, honestly, man, I just think that we don't have enough. And thank God for podcasts, bro. Thank God for podcasts because it allows people to get their points across and have real conversations. I think that, you know, because we want to be politically correct so much, you know, we shortchange ourselves by like either subscribing to the shit or being too afraid to talk about it.
Yeah. And I think, you know, my take on that whole thing is like the trans conversation is a separate thing, but like we not going to get nowhere in society if we can't communicate.
That's right.
If you getting mad at somebody for asking a question, like we just done. Yeah.
We doomed if we do that shit.
Imagine like, you know, if somebody was like, I don't know, I'm black, so that's my plight. That's my minority stake in America. And they come up to me and ask me a question about being black. And it could be the most ignorant question. But if I get defensive and, you know, like, oh, you racist, why are you asking this kind of question? Like, we're not going to be able to progress in any way, shape, or form. Like, you know, it requires you kind of like removing your ego, humbling yourself, and realize that there are some people that just don't know as much as I do about being black. 100%. And I can use that as an opportunity to teach them versus trying to make them feel bad for asking a question.
It's a difference between, like, we talked about this shit on the podcast. It's some white folks that ain't racist at all. They just fucking culturally clueless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's white people. White people don't know everything that triggers black people.
Yeah.
So I think in those moments, I would say it's a teachable moment. I'm not saying you need to be a teacher at that moment, but it's a teachable moment. Some motherfuckers don't know. And then there's some white people that's been around black people their whole life, and they understand the nuances of the culture and shit like that. But for the most part, it's just something we could achieve through conversation. But we got to start. We have to talk. We actually have to make it to talk. We can't just be like, transphobe, you're this. That sounds very transphobic. I woke up and had some breakfast. That was racist. You'd be like, what? You making hash browns racist, nigga? What the fuck? I can't have tater tots without being labeled transphobic now?
I can't have Belgian waffles without being racist?
It's ridiculous. I can't have buttermilk pancakes without being labeled a fucking misogynistic. Shit is ridiculous. Yeah. All right. Switching gears. We're going to wrap it up after this. The question that probably some women want to know, why do men become players, right? First of all, every man does not have the capacity to be a player. First of all, to be a player, you have to have some type of value. You have to be somebody that women want to be a player. That means you're getting pussy from the east to the west coast. And you would only be getting...
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you can't be getting that if you ain't somebody of value. But here's the prequel. The reason why some men become players, I've seen it firsthand. They usually start off as very kind guys. Usually they start off as a guy that had a girlfriend and he went to church and they went to like vacation Bible school together and all of that. And then one day he busted her sucking his best friend's cock. And then it hurt him so deeply. And you guys are going to laugh at this shit. But this shit really happens to men, but men don't really externalize this information, but it happens a lot. He gets hurt so bad, he gets stung so bad that he doesn't have the capacity to trust. In order to love someone else, it takes a certain amount of surrender. And some people, not just men, but women also are so cowardice and they become so cowardly for love that they rather fuck as many people as they can, or they rather hurt somebody before they get hurt, and they live a life of womanizing or being a player or being on a permanent, a permanent hot girl summer because they don't know how to operate in relationships anymore. Mm-hmm. They once tried to be that person, but it didn't work out very well. Mm-hmm. And then you have the other cases of men who become womanizers. Mm-hmm. The guy that was short and fat in high school, he might have been 5'6", 5'7", tried to talk to girls, they didn't like him. But he had a late growth spurt, got out of high school, became 6'1", lifted weights, got a good job, got a degree. Guy's got tattoos, got a nice watch, got a new Mercedes-Benz, got a nice house, and he is getting more pussy than a fucking toilet seat, right? And women are mad. He's a player. I can't understand why this guy's a player. Well, he's a player because he didn't have access to you back in the day. See, girls like you never gave him no play. You looked at him, he was short and fat and unattractive, and you didn't even look his way. But now that his status of his body and his life has gotten up, he's using you just for sex. Because he can't view you as anything other than the women who ignored him when he was short. So now he's just using you as an outlet. And that is why a lot of men become players, is because they either once were in a place where they were very loving or they were, unattractive to women. Women didn't like them. That's how it is. Then there's because men don't just wake up and become players. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. And usually that shit should be a phase too. Where a guy's got a bunch of girls and he's getting hella pussy, it's just because he can. And it's because women like that. Why are guys players? Most guys are not players. They don't be getting pussy the way you think they do.
Yeah.
They definitely don't.
It takes a lot of work.
Oh, it takes a lot of work. Even to be a womanizer is a full-time job.
Yeah.
So the guys that you want, you got to ask yourself why you like them. And a lot of reason why women like those type of men are because those type of men have social value. And when a woman knows that 15 other women like that guy, oh my God, he's so cute, he's cute, oh my God, and you know that all these women are slobbering over him, that's gonna make you want him even more. I would liken that to waiting in a line for Jordans. Everybody wants Jordans. The line's out the door. But you stood right in that line with those people. You didn't get discouraged by the line and say, I don't want to wait in this long ass line for a shoe that everybody's wearing. Everybody's wearing this shoe. Why would I wait in this line? You stayed in that line because the value. You seen value in that shoe and you stood in that line. Even though everybody is getting the same exact shoe, you still want that shoe. And that's what women do. Women are attracted to these niggas, and that's why they're allowed to be players. And it's only like the top 8% of looks that get to be players. If you just, and I'm not trying to be fucked up, but if you smashing a bunch of undesirable women, you are not a player. You were just a scavenger.
Yeah. I'm not gonna body shame.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna body shame, but if you smashing girls with eye patches, then I'm playing. Yeah, they're smashing pirates.
I think that another one of iteration of the people you talked about is like very like wealthy people or like famous people. You got certain access to to women that is just unrealistic. Right. Like it's almost like it takes like a heightened level of discipline to not cheat at that point. Like we talked about J. Cole where he was like, I stopped cheating 6 years ago or something like that. Imagine like late 20s, early 30s J. Cole. He got, platinum albums. He touring the world. Every girl want him. And then like you imagine the type of girl that like J. Cole would be like college educated women.
Right, yeah.
The white girls with dreads and, the natural deodorant and all these. He got access to all these type of women.
Deodorant.
This is blueberry deodorant. He got access to all these type of women. And it's like, I love my girl, and my girl is, at the crib, she holding it down. But this girl right here, this is different. You know what I mean? This girl got a BBL. This girl got this. It's just a different. You just got access to a different type of woman. I remember. I'm gonna try to say it without like saying too much. There's a guy I know who's like very successful, and he was riding in first class back to Bakersfield on this plane. And there was an older lady sitting next to him. And she was like, hey, what do you do? And then he told her what he did. And she was like, oh, you might know my daughter, right? So she pulled up her daughter on Instagram, and it was like a straight IG model, maybe like 200,000 followers, like just a pretty, like a very, very pretty white girl. Almost like unreal, like there's some girls you be seeing on Instagram, you like, this is not even like a real person.
Right.
Yeah, she looked kind of like that, right? And she's like, oh, you should talk to my daughter. Like she's pretty cool. I think she knows some other people that you might know. So like, I think he ended up like following her on Instagram and stuff like that. And I don't know what materialized out of that, but I'm just saying like that's how easy it is sometimes when you that successful.
You got access.
Yeah. And yeah, that's just what it looks like. So,
yeah.
I think like, that's as like a little like subsection of the things you were saying, but for sure, everything that we do in life is, is kind of predicated on like everything we're doing is like a result of something else. So in terms of like the guy that got cheated on and stuff like that, like people take that over the top. Like they don't want to feel that way anymore, or they don't want to feel that way anymore. So they just, like you said, they move it in a way where they hurt the girl before they hurt them, or they move it in a way where like they don't even want to like have love anymore. So they just like, oh, if this is what love looks like, if I put my all into this woman and this is what it looks like, then I'm not out here looking for love no more.
It comes from a lack of maturity too. But here's the biggest part, the fucked up part, is when a dude is like being an extreme womanizer in that moment, and he just fucking and fucking and fucking. It's a good woman mixed in with those girls. There's a woman that's a decent, kind-hearted, loving person, and she just got fucked and got her feelings hurt, and now she has become one of those women that just despise men. So what you're doing is you're recreating the person who you are when you out here doing that type of shit. Now, what I'm not going to do is shame anybody for getting a freak on. You could still get laid and be a decent human being, but womanizing takes us a whole new level. Like being a player means like, I'm gonna fuck Jenny on Monday, I'm gonna fuck Jessica on Tuesday, I'm gonna smash Debbie on Wednesday. Like that's the super player.
It also doesn't work because there's two versions of it, right? There's a dude that lies a lot,
right? Like,
oh, I ain't talking to nobody. You the only girl that I dream about. And then there's a person that's the opposite of that, where they're just transparent. Like, hey, I'm not tied down to nothing. I'm out here. I'm mingling. We gonna do what we do when we do it. And when I'm not dealing with you, I might be dealing with somebody else. But neither of those work because there's emotions tied to like
100%.
having sex, right? Yep. So you can say all you want to, like, yo, like I'm single and I'm not looking for nothing serious right now. We can have fun. And that's like the extent of our relationship. But that doesn't prevent the person from catching feelings.
100%.
She's still going to be like, she's still going to take the opportunity or take you, you know, maybe watching a Netflix movie with her or something like that as, oh, he might actually like me, or, oh, if I give it up to him, he might start liking me a little bit more.
Yep. Women be thinking that, like, the problem is women be overestimating their pussy. Like, their pussy be good, but then they think, like, once he get this good pussy and he feel these pheromones and stuff, then it's like, it's gonna work. I'm gonna get him to really like me. But truth be told is the pussy could be great and he could be like, wow, that was a home run. But that's it.
Somebody could smash and be like, "Damn, that's some good pussy right there. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow," and that'd be the extent of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes niggas be falling in love with the pussy.
Yeah. The sad part. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sometimes they be falling in love with the pussy, but I think for the most part, like a person that's solid and know they self, they just gonna smash and be like, "Dang, this some solid." Like, you know, I'm gonna keep her in the tuck. But
it could be, what would be crazy is like if they mention you, but then the thing they mention afterwards is so like trivial. They'll be like, "Man, that pussy was good. Let me put these hot pockets in the microwave."
That's how it be, bro.
You ain't got
like, dang, I'm about to. I just, you know, maybe you go to some girl's house and you smack her down real quick, and then on the way home, you're like, "Dang, I'm about to go get me some Jack in the Box."
Oh, that's terrible. That's a Jack in the Box late night food is a slut food. That's the only place, and I'm not saying women are sluts. I'm just saying slutty people.
Yeah,
that's like this. That's the slut meal, especially them tacos. They should just change the name of the slutty Jack tacos. Because them motherfuckers, I remember eating a lot of those tacos after leaving the club, and they just are so oily.
Yeah.
Oily ass tacos, man.
All that oil sitting on your stomach.
Yeah, bro. You been there shitting. And the chicken sandwiches, they taste a little different now. I think I had it not too long ago. And I was like, man, this shit. I don't see how people be eating like that every day, bro.
Yeah.
Some people eat out every day.
I haven't. Me, I'm like I used to smack some fast food. I haven't ate fast food in a minute. I think one of the things for me was like, not really the health conscious part, because like, you know, obviously that's important, but just realizing how expensive it is, dog.
Oh, it's bad,
like,
dude. It's super expensive.
I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna just eat at home.
I ate a bomb ass burger from Ortega's yesterday. That motherfucker was lit.
Fire.
Oh, litty. Yeah, that motherfucker was big too. And the thing about it is, I had fasted. I worked out real hard, but I had pretty much I hadn't eaten in like 13 hours. Like 13 and a half hours. And then when I got done with my workout, I was like, yo, I gotta eat. I ate that big ass burger and fries, and it got me kind of full, but it felt like that shit evaporated. Like, that's how hard I worked. Like, when you eat a bunch of carbs right after a workout, it don't do shit. So I would tell people, if you're finna eat a bad cheat meal, eat that shit right after a huge workout. And yeah, that shit gonna burn off. And then when you go to sleep, it's gonna burn off even more. Yep.
You be right back regular.
They be right back regular. Unbloated. Well, you have anything else to offer this conversation, Keith?
No, that's pretty much it, man. I think I guess for me, like, I guess I do have some more to offer. I think that we, you know, in terms of this conversation, just women, you have to start understanding, like, I'll bring it back. So in church, this guy, he was preaching. This guy from Oakland was preaching. In part of his sermon, he was talking about how, studying yourself in terms of like affecting the world, right? So if you have bad relationships and things keep going wrong in your life, like, let's not look at all the external stuff. Like, let's start looking at like what's going on in you.
Inward.
Yeah. Do you have bad habits? Do you have bad communication skills? Are you fast to anger? All these different things, right? So in terms of like this conversation and, you know, this woman asking that, you got to start realizing, like, how are you complicit in the behavior of this man, right? Are you missing red flags? Are you the genesis of somebody else's player origin story or whatever? So, you know, I think some women got to start and it may not have been you personally, but just start looking at, how women operate and how that can cause somebody to be
100%, because you can't expect something great when you're moving around the men you're moving around and doing the things you're doing too. If you're sleeping with a married man, you can't be out here like, oh, men ain't shit. Like, you slept with a married man. Look at your energy.
Yeah, you complicit in that.
You over there fucking this dude while you got pictures of his family and shit on the wall.
There's a girl in Bakersfield that's like, one day I forgot. She made a post on Facebook. Like, one day I'm going to tell my story about these men in Bakersfield. And I'm just like I just know, I know you, and I know you're complicit in a lot of, these things, talking to people that may be married, talking to, these people that,
What did I say before? I said this. I said that when women say men ain't shit, it's coming from two places. It's coming from the things that men have done to them, but it's also coming from things that they've been able to get away with, such as sleeping with married men or men in relationships, knowing all well that this man was married, knowing all well that this man was in a relationship, and you say that he ain't shit and you frowned on him. How about you realized you're sucking the dick of a married man?
Yeah.
You need to get your act together, and men vice versa. You out here sneaking and geeking behind whoever's back to sleep with somebody's wife, and you like, man, these hoes ain't shit. Well, maybe, just maybe, if you stop fucking people's wives, you would see that it might change your worldview a little bit, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's done here. I don't think he has any more opinions.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, Keith. Mm-hmm. All right, stop talking. All right. If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fins.
We're out of here.
Peace.